Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our broadcast here, the 171st edition, the Issues Room here on Facebook. You can also catch us on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our Issues Room page. We didn't broadcast this past Friday due to some technical stuff we're trying to set up in studios. Hopefully, we've made some, ratification to those issues. And tonight we're going to have our 171st broadcast. Volcano Shelter in the house here with you this evening. We say welcome wherever you are. Our broadcast is on Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but 11 p.m. in Liberia and those countries within the Greenwich time zone. Welcome, Raymond Clark, watching from Minnesota. It's good to have you as our first viewer here who's in the chat room. Of course, you're not the first, but some folks don't like to come here and be recognized. Virgin Monyu, thank you for joining us. Tonight conversation going to be a grand slam. In our country today, everything is in chaos. The governance system, the rule of law, people just do what they want to do, and that is also pervasive in our industry where we are building, particularly public infrastructure, personal homes. No one is following anything. Corruption has continuously marred the process. And of course, we have all of these makeshift structures in the country, very serious government public buildings that are being built. They're not following the codes of occupancy. They just crowd the place, and people are not paying attention to having fire extinguisher and the number of people that are supposed to be in those public spaces. Personal homes are being built in alleys. No one is zoning. Everything is helter-skelter. So our country is in complete turmoil, not just from what is happening, but within the economy, not what is happening within our education system, not just what is happening within our healthcare, not just what is happening within our security sector, but we also go down to the developmental stages in our country. It's all in helter-skelter mode. Everyone does what he or she wants to do, even with the construction that's being done at the government level. The Ministry of Public Work, probably Public Works, has a little or no hand in monitoring, in following the developmental stages of these projects. So tonight we're going to have three architects who will join us here to discuss some of the things. And I'm talking Liberian architects who should be a part of their own nation building, but our people have been sidelined. So we're going to have a great conversation. We want to encourage you to join us here tonight. Please share the word, invite others to come in here. Let's have a great opportunity to learn and hear from firsthand the folks who are experiencing the continued lack of us, really trusting our own, to the point that we have to bring foreigners for everything. And these foreigners are only putting aesthetics that come in the country. They're doing things, and sometimes they're not even following the blueprint, or maybe they're building with no blueprint. But we're going to have that conversation. So we'd like to welcome you to the 171st edition here in the Issues Room. Great opportunity to be with you again. We say thank you for being a continued avid follower. We were not here last Friday, but again, we're back here, and we hope to be here for a while. We had to take care of some technical stuff, as I said earlier. I'm Volcano Shelton. I will be joined shortly with my colleagues, but in the meantime, we'd like to tell you that we're going to have what type of country is this, and also we're going to be presenting Dr. Manin Sumo's memory lane tonight. Memory lane is a good one, and we hope that you can hang around for the read. It kind of talked about how we don't really take pride in our own. Let me welcome my man Alphonso. He looks shaved and clean. What type of new look is that, my man?
Man, I just thought, you know what? Let me take some of the old hair off and it will grow back.
Okay, so the old hair.
Yeah.
So that's your uh, August look coming up in August.
Take us some old hair and let some new hair grow back. We're in summer.
Uh, for me, I almost take off old hair every day. I got
every
to do
day.
this every day, and thank God, Alfonso, that I do this for myself. I've
Yeah.
been cutting my hair since I was 13 years old. Everything you see at my shave, my cut, and so Bibles don't even believe when I passing people say, "Oh, who cut your hair?" I said myself. They said Allah, because man, I'm just gifted. I cut my son hair. I mean, I cut friends' hair. Not that thing on your head that you look like a person just use the chapia. And
I said myself just took it and just did it about 30
oh,
minutes
okay.
ago.
You said that, yeah. But I mean, so everything you see here, anytime I look so brazenly sharp, and
That's amazing.
I do it myself. I do it. I
That's
mean,
that's that's
front and back,
amazing.
all
You,
the lining and everything. So
you,
imagine how much money I would have spent because I do this almost every day. I got to be in the mirror almost every day. So because my hair grows so fast, when I'm
mhm.
sleeping, the hair already
You
protruding.
keep growing.
I have,
I haven't done this shave in decades. But
I know. Yeah. So I mean, I saved thousands of dollars, especially with haircut
absolutely.
now in America.
Yep.
You're talking a lot of money here. Uh,
Absolutely.
so uh,
That's remarkable by the way that you do that. I myself thought you go to the barber shop. So
oh
far
no, I've
you
not been
go.
to the barber shop since I was 13 years old. And the reason for that is the first guy who tried to cut my hair when I was around 12 and a half going. Those days I was small, so my hair was curly and thick.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, man, just play with my hair all kind of way. I was looking like the man, my man, and laugh at me. All my friends were laughing. Who spoil your hair? And when they put it behind you, who spoil your hair?
Oh yeah, you done. In
So
the community you done until the hair grow back. So
yes, I was forced to go and take care of myself, and since then, I started perfecting it, and over the years, I've done it. But even in the heyday of the war, I own a barber shop.
oh
I
wow.
yeah, so I that was my side gig, my man. Before Saturday and Sunday morning,
Mm-hmm.
coming to my house, and
Oh
I cut
wonderful.
hair. Yeah, before the war, before the war, but when I came here, people told me, "My man, just go get a lesson," because some guys saw my hand skill. They said, "Just go get a lesson." Apprentice.
Absolutely.
Well, I ain't got the time, my man. But
I
those
know.
guys make money.
Oh, it
Surprisingly,
makes a lot of money. I know it
surprisingly.
makes a whole lot of money.
Maybe when I retire from the everyday work, I'm gonna just go
You,
and do.
no, I encourage you. It makes
I
a
hope
lot.
my hair, I hope my hair won't be shaking
It
by that.
won't be shaken by that time. Yeah.
But thank you for being here. I want to keep Moses in the doghouse a little bit because this guy, man, I told the guy I can't join me here. They're gonna tell me, man, come,
Mm.
my man, you playing with fire.
And
Welcome to the show.
yeah, thank you.
Hey
Uh,
Moses, been a while. How you doing, brother?
man, we tell God thank you. It's good that we found ourselves in a different environment,
Mm-hmm.
where the dignity of labor is highly respected. Nobody is telling you, say, "Oh, my man, the chief is busy. Sit and wait." And you don't have to worry whether you're gonna get paid or not. It's automatic, right, Volcano?
Volcano doesn't find himself in that situation. My understanding is that he's the one who pays.
I still remember when we were at LBS, one of our co-worker. The guy asked me, so what do you say, Chief, when we taking video message, 10 us. And the guy stood up and said, when was the last time you ever came to work before you asked him for pay? Can you imagine Volcano, man? Dignity on level, man. Disrespect him, man.
Okay, so Moses, we have Mr. McCready already in studio,
Okay,
and
good.
because when you have data being used in Africa,
Yeah.
you want to
Not right,
maximize the
yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
The other two panelists are not in yet, but I think
Okay.
we want to kick off with him because
Yeah. They can join
he
us
has
later.
he has vast knowledge of what's trending in Liberia. So we'll bring him in now.
Uh,
Mr. McCready,
Mr. Credit?
could,
Yeah.
could you lower
Could
what
you know what?
because it's giving
Because
feedback?
it's giving feedback. There's nothing on right now. Let me check. Let me double check. No, I think
Okay,
it's okay now. Now.
I'm hearing
I'm
myself.
hearing myself.
I don't know if
I
I
don't know
am,
if I am. Hold on 1 minute. It's from his end. It's from his end.
but are you hearing the feedback?
Yeah, I did. I heard it.
Okay, yeah.
But you know what, Volcano? The coming of this group The timing is so good. You saw the road that broke, the
Yeah.
road that separated between Bomi
So
and yeah.
hold on, Moses.
It's a
Uh,
very good discussion to have.
Mr. Awaji, Kenneth Dawo Awaji, if you're hearing me, if you cannot log in, then I would say probably let's do the WhatsApp thing where you call in. Uh, I think that would be the way because we really want to have you here tonight. And also, if Nancy Obi is having similar problem, so I would prefer us probably utilizing WhatsApp where you can just call in and participate in the conversation. Let's try
Let's
it.
try it.
Oh God,
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
I'm hearing
I'm
everything.
hearing everything.
When I talk, I hear
When I
my.
talk, I hear my.
It's from him.
It's from him.
Everything is off.
Okay.
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 I,
I,
uh,
uh,
so
so
what happened in
what
here?
happened here?
I'll be
I'll be
experiencing,
experiencing.
but when I
But when
talk,
I talk,
I'm hearing
I'm
myself.
hearing myself.
Everybody,
Everybody
hearing
here
you.
hearing me.
Yeah.
Everything is off besides the light.
All right.
So
All right. So
maybe you
maybe
know I tried this
I
with
tried
kind
this with
of
kind of
mute everyone
mute
of us.
everyone of us.
You are talking and
Start
I'm hearing.
talking and I'm here.
So let me.
So let me.
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
Let me mute him. Now I'm not hearing myself. The problem is coming from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem.
Something.
So you know what you do? You know what you do? Just log on and come back and let's see if it will
See if
fix
it
it.
will fix it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's.
Me.
Yeah, let's meet.
Okay.
No, muting
But
doesn't.
muting does.
It's still happening to me.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, it's off now.
Yeah, it's off now because it's coming from him. I think that's the problem. But anyway, gentlemen, good to see you guys. And you know, quickly while we are waiting, Moses, you wanted to talk about the Yeka Koluba situation. We gotta be a little speedy with it so that you know once
Uh
we can jump right
the
back.
political season in Liberia, every time and there's a breaking story. Yesterday I was very shocked when I saw this video with a gentleman who referred to himself as a junior brother of Honorable Yeke Koluba. He said in 2011 when Mr. Koluba decided to run for the District 10 representative position as a brother, as a family member, he campaigned very hard for his brother to be elected. And fortunately for them,
Moses, let
yeah,
me try him again
yeah,
so we can
yeah,
see. Is my credit?
Yeah.
Perfect.
yeah, yeah,
Perfect. The
good.
connection was from you. But Moses will come back to that.
Yeah, we can talk about
We
that
can
later.
enjoy his 6 years. I don't know. We'll come back. We'll do that toward the end.
Mhm.
Mr. McCradle, we wanted to bring you back, and we had a conversation with everything happening in the country right now with respect to uh, the country's development. You and I know that a lot of broken down systems are in place, and I use the word in place because that's what they're following. That's what they're doing. You send us some pointers that you wanted us to look at. Well, let's just first start with you and your your colleagues who were supposed to be here. Now, I posted the number, Mr. Kenneth Yawo. The number is 404-272-2808. I'm looking out for your call to bring you in. Um, but let's start with this whole architecture organization that you guys have in the country. Just share with us first if it's functional and whether it's being recognized by the Ministry of Public Works, by the government of Liberia, and how are you guys involved with the developmental projects in the country? Let's start from there.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for having me on the show. And it's been a pleasure. And I would like to just express my thanks and appreciation for your invite. As far as the Liberian Institute of Architects is concerned, uh, there's an act that's supposed to be passed by the House or the Senate. It should have been passed today, which legalizes the Liberian Institute of Architects as a regulatory body to monitor and monitor and regulate each architect practicing in Liberia. Okay, you go through the application, they check your credential, and once they certify you as a member of the Liberian Institute of Architect, you can begin to practice. But it doesn't give you a free pass. You can do whatever you want. They monitor your each and every design, make sure is meets up to standard code and is safe for the public to use. Pending that formal legislation, the Architects Act, we have been sort of monitoring each other and checking up on each other, find out what project you're working on, how the project coming on, blah 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 blah. As far as cooperation with the Ministry of Public Works, up until recently, the Liberian Institute of Architects has been having some serious problem with the Ministry of Public Works. I don't know what's the bottom line of all of this, but there's some resentment towards the Liberian Institute of Architects. Of lately, one of our colleagues complained to us in the last meeting we had that he took some drawings to the Ministry of Public Works to get a permit. And much to his surprise, the people at the zoning department told him that the minister said that they should not accept any drawings from any member of the Liberian Institute of Architects. So when I heard this, I got concerned. So I called him to verify it. And he said, yes. I took my drawings there. They say the minister said only one particular architect they should accept drawings from. And that particular architect is not a member of the Liberian Institute of Architects. So in my mind, I'm thinking that there's a core group that is trying to undermine the progress that the Liberian Institute has made since 1976. And in my opinion, just a lot of young guys who's trying to be headmaster. They got a parable here in Liberia, say you got to sit on the old mat to plot the new mat. But these guys, they do not want to sit on the old mat. They want to just start making the new mat and make it however way they want to make it. And we all know that would not work because you must have the requisite experience in order to practice architecture. Because if you design a building, you have to know what you're designing. And if you're going to inspect a building for codes compliant, you have to be very familiar with building codes. Because when you go out there, you got to know what you're looking for. And if you don't know what you're looking for, chances are you're just about it being at a certain place. And my issue mainly with the issuing of building permits here in Liberia is that previously you get a building permit, you start building. But after the public works people issue your permit, they don't make periodic visit to find out if you are doing the right thing or you're not doing the right thing. If you're going by the plans, you're not going by the plans. They do not make those inspections, which is required. And one time I asked why you guys don't do this type of activity. The answer I got was they're not capacitated. First of all, they don't have enough vehicles. They don't have this. They don't have that. So I said, okay, well, if that's how you guys operate, it's fine with me. So basically, that's why you see every construction site in this country, everybody is doing their own thing. Nobody is being checked. And you see, the function of the Liberian Institute of Architects, one of the many functions, is to serve as a check on the Ministry of Public Works. Because the Ministry of Public Works is supposed to be using the LIA as a means to get qualified architects in their employ. But if you become at odds with the place you're supposed to go to get good employees, a good recommendation from employees, then you're literally doing what you want to do. And with me personally,
So
I
quickly,
don't know,
my colleagues
I
will
don't know why or
quick,
what was it.
quickly. I want to say, is it happening with this government only, or it has happened since the war and all prior to the war? Because you've been
No, no, no. If I say prior, previous government, I will be doing a disservice. This has happened since this government took over, and not since the government took over, since that particular minister was appointed. That's
okay.
when we had problems before with the one what her name Judy Moore. Okay, we had serious problem with him because he was one of those who did not want to give the LIA its due credence.
So you had good relationship with Kofi Woods. You had good
Yes,
relationship with Mabutu
yes,
Yimpa because
yes,
Mabutu served in this government. So you had good
yes,
relationship with him, and you have good
yes.
relationship with previous ministers.
We had good relation. The best relationship we ever had was when Kofi Woods was there. He
Okay.
was very supportive of the Liberian Institute of Architects, and he did a lot, which we will go into later on if the time permits. But
Okay.
he did more for that ministry and working with engineers, the Engineering Society of Liberia, the Architecture, Liberian Institute of Architects. He was more supportive of those professional bodies than the current minister.
Okay. Let's hear from Alfonso.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. McCready. Good to see you again. I know you've talked about, the Liberia Institute of Architectures, and you talk about buildings. Are you guys is your body involved or concerned with roads and bridges?
Come back again.
So my question was, is your body the Liberia Institute of Architects? I hope
I
I'm
didn't get
saying.
your last question.
Yeah, I'm reposting the question. I'm Do you hear me?
Is he freezing? I
Yeah.
think he's freezing.
My question is, if you're hearing me,
I think
is
he's freezing. He's freezing. Mr. McCready.
Mr.
Mr. McCready, can you hear us?
Mr. McCready?
Yes, I didn't get your last question.
Can you hear me? Let me start with me. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you well.
Okay.
Okay.
Alfonso, just say, can you hear
If you
me?
hear me, my question
Can you
is,
ask him
is
first to confirm if he can hear you?
do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, it's the Liberia Institute of Architects, real quickly, concerned with roads and bridges in Liberia as well. And I'm asking this
No,
question. You're not. Okay.
no. They are
Okay.
mainly concerned with buildings.
I see. Okay. Alrighty. And it so let's look at buildings. You talk about new buildings that are being constructed. Has your I know the law hasn't been passed yet. It should have been passed today, according to you. First of all, do you know whether or not it was passed, and if so, why not? And then let's look at. Do you want to talk about some of the buildings and older buildings in Liberia and their current state? You know, yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't received words yet from the president of the Liberian Institute of Architects concerning the status of the act that was supposed to be passed today. I'm pretty sure he will probably call me later on tonight or early in the morning, as far as that's concerned.
Okay. So the second part of my question was basically, I know one of the major problems we have in Liberia is a maintenance question. So, but you've talked about new construction. What about all existing public buildings or even private buildings in the country? Are there any major public or private buildings that you are concerned about in terms of their current state?
There are several buildings here that I'm concerned about. And the thing is, they're not old buildings built in the 60s and the 70s that are currently being used by either government entity, government agency, or what have you. They need to be retrofitted to meet the up to date the modern day codes, especially with the handicap accessible requirement. Because nowadays, most people in wheelchair, they find it very difficult to navigate to many of these buildings. So these buildings need to be retrofitted so that everybody, every Liberian, whether you handicap or you're not, you can freely access these buildings. And there's a system here where it's a common trend that if you build building up to 5 floors, you don't have to put elevator in there. So that's why you see most buildings in Liberia are like 5, 6 floors because the people don't want to spend the money to put in elevators. And the other thing that's very rampant is that these people build these mixed-use buildings where you see store downstairs and apartment upstairs. I mean, it's very very rampant in this country right now. And when they build these type of buildings, they put the stores downstairs, and they take the side of the building to put the stairs because they don't want to use up any interior space to put stairs. And I find this very odd.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So there are two questions in the chat. So let me pose them to you. One is who can become a member of the Liberia Institute of Architects, and the second question is, do you, as Liberian architects, get major government contracts?
Let me answer the first one. In order, the Liberian Institute of Architects has several categories of membership. To be a full-fledged registered architect, you have to go through a 4 or 5 year college training, in addition to 10 years experience under a registered architect. That is the main requirement for being a full-fledged registered architect. You can also become a member of the LIA as a student member, or if a student member is where you are going to school and learning about architecture, then hoping to graduate. Then we have associate members. Associate members are those who have had maybe their first degree or an associate degree, and they're looking towards becoming a registered architect and wants to intern under one of the seasoned architects. Then you become an associate, or you can become a visiting architect. For example, an architect with his credential from Ghana or from Europe or from wherever. He has a project here in Liberia, and he wants to practice architecture here in Liberia. He comes to the Liberian Institute of Architects registered, and then he's registered under a foreign architect category, but he has to have a local architect working side by side with him. Then you have the last category of membership is what we call the fellow. Now the fellow, when you get to a fellow status, that means you are maybe either retired or semi-retired, but you still are able to do 1 or 2 projects. So the LIA makes you a fellow, and then you can sort of mentor the younger guys and give them guidelines of what the profession is all about.
So
Okay,
what
so
if
the last question, the last question for him to answer that part was the government.
yes,
Do
exactly.
you guys get
Okay,
contracts?
the government contracts. Most of the registered architects here, they do not. I don't know what is by choice, but with me it's by choice. I do not go after government contract because of all the red tapes that's attached to it. But some of the guys, they go after government contracts, and they sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. And then the problem is here, most of the government contracts that come, they come under an aid package where these people bring their own professionals. And when they do that, they are supposed to liaise with the Liberian Institute of Architects, but because of this legislation, the Architect Act being not being passed, we cannot. We're almost like a toothless bulldog. We cannot go after these guys because we have not been legislated yet. That's why it's very important for this act to pass.
Okay. Let's hear from Moses.
Yeah, Mr. McCready, I just want to follow up with you on two uh, key points that you raised, and this has to do with the relationship between the Liberian Institute of Architects and executives or authorities at the Ministry of Public Works. Why is the relationship between the LIA and the Ministry of Public Works, especially the current minister, why is the relationship so poor?
Well, I really don't have an answer to that because I mean we have reached out so many times. We have extended the olive branch. We try to meet with them, but for some reason they're not willing to give us an ear.
Are you
It
are
boils
you
down to it boils down to, in my opinion, personal reasons. For example, the minister gets on the air who she doesn't even know me. She has never met me in person before. She has only heard my name. But somebody within her ministry told her that McCready man that he's a plumber. He's not an architect. She gets on the air and tells the public that a seasoned veteran architect like me who started in this business before she was even born. I've got track records here in
Yes.
Liberia, in
So let
Ghana,
me
in America,
let me
all
just
these places I have worked.
let me quickly intercept so we can clear the air here because people are saying things here. Let's come to Mr. McCready. Moses, I will just do this quick and then you'll continue. Let's talk about Mr. McCready's credential first, and let's talk about McCready's role in the LIA. Let's know who you are in the LIA and what
your
is your
training and all
credential.
of that?
Your credential to begin with. Are you a civil engineer, an electrical engineer, a construction engineer, and blah 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 blah?
Uh,
Or
uh,
a man
uh, uh,
plumber?
Okay.
uh,
Or
First of
are
all,
you a
sorry,
plumber?
plumber.
first of all,
Yeah.
I was trained at Tennessee State as an architectural engineer. Now there's a difference between the architect and the architectural engineer.
Okay.
Here's the difference. The architect, he's only concentrating on architectural stuff, building design, codes, regulation, da da da. But the architectural engineer has also a vast background and experience in civil engineering. And the distance between civil engineering and architectural engineering is just a stone throw away. The first 3 years of college, you're doing basically the same subject matter. Your sophomore year is when you branch off into your specialty, whether you will be a civil engineer or you're going to be an architect. With me, I went with both of them. That's why I know so much about civil engineering, and I can look at any civil engineering project and participate in that discussion or undertake any civil engineering project because I have the education one. Then I have more than 20 years of experience,
Okay. So what's
working
your
experience,
so
working
what's
with credible company.
your
When I
quality?
was in Atlanta, Georgia, I worked with a road construction company called Pittman Construction. Georgia Highway from I-85 from LaGrange, Georgia, all the way to Alabama state line. I worked on that interstate there. So with that kind of experience, and you come home and you hoping to give your quota of what you have learned abroad, and you come home and you can't do it, and because people are fighting you when you say things, when they make, Liberian people, when they hate to be criticized. One, They hate to be corrected because they think they know so much. And some of us, the experience that we have is because we went under some of the most harsh criticism of what when we were learning. You
So
see,
answer
and if you don't,
let me just I just wanted to set the tune quick. What's your current role in the LIA?
currently I'm the immediate past president. I was president of the LIA from 2015 to 2017.
All right. Moses,
So
continue.
I'm just a regular member now.
Okay.
They call me what we call the
President
immediate
Emeritus.
past president,
I'm a
IPP.
President Emeritus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we,
so Mr.
we got one we got one President Emeritus here.
so Mr. McCready, uh tell us and tell the world, the many people that are listening to you, the current Minister of Public Works, does she have a personal beef with you that
I
she
don't know,
think
and
that
I don't
you
know
are
why.
Mayor Plumber?
I don't know why, and because I mean, you can have a beef with somebody that you know, somebody you have interacted with before, okay? But somebody you have never laid your eyes on. If I was to walk in her ministry, in her office right now, and somebody didn't say my name, she would not even know who I am.
All right, guys. Let's not dwell
Okay.
on this thing.
So
Moses, hold on.
let
Moses,
me just
Moses, hold on. The other guest is here. Let me bring him in.
oh, okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's working. Mr. Awaji, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear us? Are you clear? There we go again. Liberal internet. They say they got fiber
And
optic, but I don't
it's
know.
Yeah.
rain,
So go
it's
ahead,
raining
Mr.
here like hell.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. If
Go
you
ahead.
can, go
So
ahead.
Mr. McCready, let me put this to you. You said that the guys at the Ministry of Public Works, the authority which they have to monitor and supervise, the construction of public buildings in our country, or construction as a whole, and that authority is not being fully, utilized. Why are they not, enforcing the codes? Why are they not monitoring and supervising? What's going on?
My guess would be they are incapacitated. The government need to invest more money into two areas: zoning and public building inspection. Because right now, the kind of materials that are on the market, we are blessed in this Liberia. We don't have adverse weather. Okay, there's steel, for example, the steel rod has been sold on the market here, and everybody is buying steel rod. Those they are not high tensile steel, very cheap steel made from recycled iron. But who would know? I mean, I would know because every steel rod that is made from a plant, it has the plant ID number, it has the type of steel, the year it was made, and all of that is stamped on the steel rod.
And you're right. You're right because Jetty opened a steel factory to take advantage of the degradation in our civil war. Take all
Exactly.
take all of the scrap metal in the country, whether they meet specifications to make steel rod, they dump it right in the heating machine and make steel rod. The steel rod you
Yes.
can only hold it and bend it, Moses. And the sizes of the steel rod has shrunk on a jetty. The 5'8" is not 5'8", and we
It's
pay
not 5
almost
feet.
20
The
to
10 millimeter is not 10 millimeter.
20 to 20 some more dollars for one little baby steel rod. And whatever happened in that country, Moses, is discouraging. You don't even want to build because you're building with substandard material. And let's come to that. Let's come to that since you emphasize that. Let's talk about some of the substandard materials coming in the country, particularly the steel rod that is being made there. And it sounds like, oh, yeah, we got a steel rod factory, but it's substandard because, again, we talked about how it's being made and from it is made out of. But the building material, even on the market, there's zinc that they're bringing in the country, and there's zinc they're making in the country that as soon as you put it on your house, The first rainy season, all of the zinc get rusty. You put locks. I have the experience because I'm the one in this studio right now who's built a lot in Liberia. When you buy the lock and install the lock, while installing the lock, the key you didn't even turn the lock, the whole cylinder, and there's no recourse. Why is it? Who's responsible for making sure that the kind of material that go into building structure in the country meet the kinds of standards set forth by probably the Ministry of Commerce? I'm not sure. And what is the LIA's role in making sure that the right kinds of building materials are brought in the country? If you have any role in that matter.
No, the LIA has no role and has no prerogative in the type of material that is being brought into this country. This country is supposed to have a National Bureau of Standards. National Bureau of Standards, for example, like we have in Ghana. Before you bring any material into the country for mass sale, you have to send a sample to the National Bureau of Standards. They would test it and they would either reject it or approve it. And if they approve it, they will put a stamp of approval on it that it can be sold on the market over there. Contrary to Liberia, we don't have a National Bureau of Standards. Where, for example, the wheelbarrow that the people buy here for construction, you buy a wheelbarrow, you pay $30, $40 for it. You use it one time to pour concrete, it's spoiled. You have to buy extra steel to weld around it for it to. And this kind of thing not even supposed to be on the market. Because who are being ripped off? The average Liberian person, the average Liberian consumer.
And you're not telling me I bought more than 50 shovels for all the work I've been doing. I've purchased more than 15 wheelbarrows, more than maybe 20 some more wheelbarrows. And you're right, Moses, the tire, by the time it glides, it's already gone. The wheelbarrow, all of the straws shaking. I mean, this is a serious problem. This is a serious problem. Let's try to see if we can get back Kenneth. Kenneth, can you hear me? Every time I go to tell Kenneth, can you hear me? The man just disappear.
Okay, the man seems like you're.
Kenneth, what I'm going to do is I will call you. That's why I'm trying to store your number. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Yeah. So, Alfonso, quickly before you come in, let me ask Mr. McCready. There's a committee. There's a House standing committee on public works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also have similar committee in the Senate. The LIA, have you done anything to reach out to the committee
Moses?
to say,
Yeah.
hey, these are our concern? And if
Moses?
so, what has been the outcome out of this reach out?
Moses?
We have reached out,
Yeah,
and
okay.
most recently we
Yeah.
have reached out, but it won't be much to your surprise
Mr.
when
McCready,
we submitted the act
Mr.
to the Senate. Huh?
Mr. McCready, just hold quick.
He just want to
Okay.
try
I
something
just want to
quickly.
make sure that Kenneth is in. Kenneth, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Shelton.
All right, great. Can you guys hear Kenneth?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. McCready. He can come in. Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, we have reached out to the Senate, and of lately we had a meeting with the senator that put the act on the floor, Senator Jala and Senator Dillon. They put the act on the floor, and we reached out to them. So they are in sympathy with the LIA, and they have seen the need to legislate the LIA. But there's some
Mr. McCready, just Mr. McCready, just 1 second. I want to Kenneth stay in queue. That's why Moses. Let me just handle this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Kenneth, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you, Shelton.
All right. So just stay in queue. You're part of the conversation. Okay. We'll come to you.
Okay.
Okay. Continue now.
Go ahead, Mr. McCready.
Yeah, and a good thing Kenneth is here because he can bear me out on what I just said about the soil relationship between the LIA and the Ministry of Public Works. There's some individual, I don't know the name or what have you. They wrote when the act was being put on the floor, they wrote the Senate not to pass the act.
I'm listening.
So I mean, it's just like a crab syndrome. If I can't get in, nobody must get in.
Oh,
And what the LIA is doing is seeking redress so we can protect the Liberian public. You see, because not everybody who's building will have an architect to supervise the construction. And the public works minister do not have, because like for example in the states, you get a building permit, you do clearing and grubbing. The inspector comes out and check on what you have cleared and grubbed. If everything's okay, he signs on it. Next thing you do your excavation for your footings and your foundation. Before you cast concrete, you must call in for an inspection, and the inspector will come out there and make sure that you have the right amount of steel inside wherever concrete you're putting. Your formwork everything is okay
I'm not hearing
before
the
you
conversation.
cast your concrete.
but how you? Hold on. You say you're not hearing the conversation, but can you hear me? Kenneth, can you hear me? You seem muted. That's why from your end. Can you hear me?
Okay, well, let me look.
Listen, Kenneth. Let's try. What you call it? Messenger. Go to the TI room and call Messenger because you keep muting. I don't know why. So you know, Mr. McCready, I wanted to shoot this question because there's some chatter going here behind the scene, and you guys will come back in. But it's a very important question here. Most of the people are seeing here, the reason why a lot of you Liberian architects and builders don't get contract is because of your dishonesty.
That
How,
is not true.
how do you measure up to that? Because we've seen where even here in America, you want your work done, you got a little remodeling to do. Don't call Liberian man. You call Liberian man, our work will never get done because he will take money from here, there, yonder. He'll come one day, he doesn't come back for 2 weeks. But your house is in disarray because he come out and make a mess. You may end up going for the Hispanic guys to finish the work for you or another national. People are saying
Mhm.
that you guys are dishonest in Liberia. So that's why a lot of people now go into the Guinea Pella boys, a lot of people go into the Ghanaians, a lot of people go into the Senegalese. Make your case here tonight because we got people here who are saying that I'm accredited and the incorrect people.
They are
All right.
reportedly. Yeah.
All right. That there I can tell you because I've had that same experience myself lots of time because I do construction here. Sometimes I do uh, construction supervision. When it comes to the Liberian workers, especially contractors, subcontractors, the common trend here is most of these guys passing around with a table on the side. They call themselves engineers. They take on people job. They don't know how to even start. I have about five people who live in the States right now that people have messed their houses up. And they're calling me now to go try to straighten things up. The Liberian contractor here, they are not very skilled and they don't improve on their skills. I myself have resorted to using and Nigerians because they will come halfway do your work and if you tell them this work is not acceptable, they say, "Oh, you won't pay me. That's why you say my work not acceptable." Well, you can see all the flaws. All the flaws. I had to on one occasion, the woman had bought almost $3,000 worth of towels to put on her floor. They come in there, lay the towel from left to right, and you know there's no perfect wall in any building. So you have to start laying your floor, your towel from the center of the room. So that way, if you have 9 inches on the end, on the other end you have 9 inches. But the just lay the tile, you have one full tile. When you come to the end, on the other side of the wall, you see one one small piece of tile there. Same thing with the carpenters. You will never find a real a carpenter in Liberia here with the proper tools.
And let me just hold you there, please, because I'm a witness. Every structure I build in Liberia is leaking, and it costs an arm and a leg. I don't know, and no matter what quality of zinc you pay for, they go up there and your place is leaking, and I'm experiencing it right now. So you talk about carpenters. I don't know who I can find to be a good roofer.
So, Mr.
That
McCready, before you continue, let me ask a question because there's an important issue here. According to you, many Liberian subcontractors are not honest. They start the job, they go, so you're resorting to using Nigerians and other people. Is that the solution? If not, what is the solution? Because at the
the
same time, you
solution,
also want to engage Liberian workers, correct?
my solution to that
Hmm.
will be for the government to step in, and that everybody who calls yourself carpenter, plumber, electrician, you must have a license. You must have a license where when you mess up somebody's job, they can revoke your license where you will not get another, because if everybody getting you come to Alfonso, I'm a plumber. I can do plumbing. How are you supposed to know that they guy can actually do plumbing? Unless you try it, and if you try it, you don't know the plumbing, mess your work up and mess your material.
Try and error.
So
And,
if he comes to a plumber, where's your plumbing license? Then you know that if he has a license, that means he knows he has gone through the certification, he has taken the practical test to prove that he's a licensed plumber. Same way when you're driving a car, you got to have a driver's license to show that you know how to drive a car. And it should be done with every single trade in this country here.
And that's precisely what the LIA would be aiming to accomplish, right? Try to
Exactly.
license people.
Exactly.
And then in addition to that, do you want to add insurance as well? So if somebody damages somebody work, the insurance can step in.
Yes, yes. Because you see, with the LIA, we got a program where if somebody calls the LIA and say, I need an architect, and the LIA goes through his roster and say, okay, John Brown is one of our members, you can use him. And if he goes on your job and messes up and he doesn't do what he is contracted to do, you come directly back to the LIA and say, look, John Brown, you say he was one of your members, but this is what he did. We will call that guy in and force him to rectify. First, we'll do an investigation as to what happened and what didn't happen. And if he's in the wrong, he is obligated to make the amends meet and make the repairs, or else he will lose his license to practice in Liberia.
Mr. McCready, I want to post this here. There's a Dwight Dogba Port. He says,
Good,
he said,
good. I'm glad you brought that Dogba port over there. Let me tell you the details about that Dogba port.
So
I
he
was
said-
in Ghana.
hold on,
He got me.
hold on now.
Hello?
Yes, hold
Okay.
on. He said you took his family's money and you did not do the work on their property. Let's
Good.
hear from you, because he's
Okay.
a viewer. I don't want to sideline him. He has a point, so maybe you can clear the air. Thank you.
Okay, let's clear the air.
Good.
I was in Ghana. He said he wanted for me to design a house for him to build here in Liberia. I designed the house. I sent him the plans. He said, this is nice. We agreed to do the work. Do you have a property there? Yes, I have a property there. Where's the deed? He didn't show me the deed. He said when I get to Liberia, his brother-in-law will bring the deed to me. So I fly from Ghana to Liberia to do his work. His brother-in-law took me to the site. It's right off of you call the place Rousey Highway. They dump you. You get off the car there, then you have to either walk or take a motorbike, maybe a mile inside before you get to the property. We get to the property. That was the first time I ever rode a motorbike in my life. I get to the property, come to find out that property was already sold to somebody else. Because when we got there, the people brought their cutlasses to chase us off the land. And I called him, I told him, I said, this is the problem. Oh, let me check it out. He checked it out. The people said they were getting a new land. I'm in Liberia, sitting down in Liberia for a whole month. It was like May. Okay? May till June. I sat down in Liberia. I had to pay my own lodging, my transportation, everything. He total money he gave me was $4,700 something. So when he found out that he couldn't build the house, He said he changed his mind. I said, okay, my air ticket from Ghana to Liberia, my lodging, my hotel bill, my transportation and everything, I would refund you $2,500. He said, no, I'm getting the whole 4,000. I said, no, I will not do that. His lawyer right there, Councilor Gould. I paid the lawyer $2,500. Balance was $1,700, and I told him I would use that for my loss. He said, "No, you must take all the loss." I told him I would not do that. And who in the right mind goes in business to lose money?
Absolutely.
Then he goes all around on Facebook. The man took my family money without telling them the real story. You know, people who do bad, they are the first one to complain. The first one to complain, so people can play.
This is my credit. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, we did. Hold on, Moses. We didn't come here to mitigate. We didn't come here to spill.
No.
Come here. I want you to hear me out. But the Dwight Port is asking that he can call in to clarify his side of the story. Will you be willing to hear from him? And I will warn Dwight Port that he's not coming to be accusatory. He needs to explain exactly what happened, and we're not
what happened.
Yeah, and we're not going back and forth. Otherwise, I will take him off the line.
Because we're not in a courthouse here. For you're not here to judge flower between two people.
Yeah, it's the balance of journalism.
Yes. Yeah. So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, quickly, I just wanted to piggyback on the same question that you put to him. Mr. McCreddick, when you and Dwight had this arrangement, did you guys enter into a legal contract?
We had a contract.
And what does the contract say? If someone reneges, because the way you're telling me now, it seems, or what you're telling us seems to suggest that he reneged on the contract. He made you fly to Liberia. You did this, you did that, and he comes. So, oh well, you take the hate. I mean, come on. What does the contract say in terms of someone reneging?
Okay, we had a contract. First of all, Dwight was referred to me by one of my schoolmates. I didn't know him before.
Okay.
So we did the contract, and unfortunately, the contract did not spell out a default on either party.
Okay.
So it was based on mutual understanding, mutual respect, and that's the reason why I even opted to give him some part of his refund.
Okay.
Because I got to take a loss, he has to take a loss. I didn't come here to Liberia on my own. I was in Ghana working.
So it does make sense.
I think what stalled the process was the land was in question.
Yeah, so you can't blame a man.
And you I waited for a whole month trying to make sure that he made a land available, and apparently it was not happening. You needed to go back to Ghana, so you took some
available.
And then another thing is the new land that they gave to him was in the swamp. And I told him, I said, I cannot build a house in this swamp here because you just scrape the ground, water is coming. I said, I cannot put my profession on the land to build a house like this here, because today or tomorrow the house started falling apart. You will say that means for my house.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do now. The line, we're about to open the line. It's 8 o'clock. We'd like to remind you, you're in the issues room. This is our 171st edition. We're discussing the Liberian architectural situation in the country. We're talking about the lack of zoning laws. We'll come to that in the second segment of this conversation. We'll talk about the codes not being followed, how many occupancy and all of that in public buildings, and even in places where we have entertainment, churches. All of those places are public places. Volcano Shelton, Moses Sandy, Alphonso Yeno, we're here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. in Liberia. Again, Kenneth Yao Awaji has been having problem with coming through because I'm hearing that it's raining heavily in Liberia, and usually when that is taking place, there's a lot of interferences with connectivity when it comes to phone calls and the internet. The number to call is 404-272-2808, 404-272-2808. I'd like to again say to Mr. Port, please, let's do this civil. If you come in, just explain your side of the story. We're not here to judge case. We've heard from Mr. McCready. The audience have heard. Just come and do same if you have to call in just to clear the air. Please, let's do this civil. We see the caller calling from Texas, 8729. Good evening. Welcome to the Issues Room. Your name?
Texas.
Could you lower your monitor, please? Could you lower your
Yes, thank
monitor?
you, sir.
Could you lower your monitor?
This is Dwight. This is Dwight who calling from Texas. How are you doing?
Could you lower your monitor, please?
I just did.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right.
Hold on. Welcome to the show. Again, I think you've been following. We're not here to make any kind of judgment or pass judgment. We just give you the opportunity to explain, and we're not going back and forth. Mr. McCready has made it clear. You make your side clear, and we'll go on from there. All
Okay.
right? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on, and thanks to the panelists. Great show. I appreciate the fact that you guys embark on this adventure to bring things to bear. Okay. Firstly, everything Mr. McCready said, I can disprove it. Number one, it was back in 2018 specifically, when a friend of ours, we had intentions to build a home back home. And I already had a design worked up.
There's a lot of feedback coming from your background there. Something is
Okay. I don't have any monitor or I'm at work, so maybe you hear buzzer going off here.
Oh,
So anyway, yeah. So
oh,
sorry about
you're
that.
in a hospital setting?
Yeah, I'm a nurse, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
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 All
So
Yeah, go ahead.
one thing I decided that we're going to build a home. We did a design, and it was done through William Stewart. We paid a lot of money for it, and then we kept asking around until a friend of my wife introduced him and said, "Oh, I've been seeing his work on Facebook, but I didn't know he was into private home. I just thought he was more about industrial and road construction and everything." So when she mentioned it, I said, "You know what? I do see his work on Facebook, but I don't know him that well." So anyway, we set up the connection. We opened up WhatsApp page to tell you how transparent we wanted to be, and we started communicating with him. And we sent him our design. And he looked at it, he said, "Well, Dwight, to build this kind of home is going to cost you X, Y, and Z." Okay, we like, okay. And he said, "But you know what? I have another design that I built for someone in South Africa. Would you be interested in it?" We said, "Sure, send it to us." My wife looked at it. She said, "You know what? I think it's nice." Come to find out, few months later or a year later, this is a design someone sent to him. It wasn't his original design. I'll leave that at that. Okay, so we set up the thing, and we had just purchased 2 acres property in Forest Town. I've not been home to see the land. We had my brother-in-law purchased the land, did all of the paperwork and everything. You know how the system goes in Liberia. If you're not there, people drop the ball here and there. Fine and dandy. So he told us, okay, this is what we're going to do. We said, "Look, you're charging this amount. Can you knock it off?" He said, "Oh, I can take 10,000 off." We said, "Okay." He sent out a payment plan. He sent out a contract. We read through the contract, fine-combed it. And I told my wife, I said, "Okay, it sounds good." We sent him the first money to Ghana, 4,700. There was nothing mentioned about transportation, lodging, or anything, because you know what? When we asked him, this is the person I asked him, I said, "You know what? It's raining in May and June. Why do you want to go to Liberia to build?" Because I go to Liberia, I know. He said, "Oh, I can do it. I got the expertise." I said, "Okay." He was already on his way to Liberia to do another lady's work. And he never mentioned anything about transportation, airfares, lodging, meal, or anything. We sent him the money to Ghana. He picked up the money. He got to Liberia in May. The minute he got to Liberia, I must admit, he went to the site. When he got to the site, it rained heavily that day. Right away, 6 o'clock here in the morning, he called her. He said, "Oh, the land is inaccessible." I said, "Why?" He said, "Oh, it's flooding." I put my brother-in-law on the phone. I said, "What's going on? Why did you carry this man to this site? And you know it was bad." He said, "Oh no, we can get around it." I'm like, "Okay, go there." He McCready went to the site with them. He saw the land. He took pictures. Of course, it's a flooded area, but I was just there in December. It's not flooded. People are building all in the area in Forest Town. Okay. So he took the picture. He said, "Well, I can't do anything." But when he got there was a dispute with the land because you know how the people do. Some families sell the land, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. My brother-in-law was able to fix everything within 2 weeks. We got a new deed. All this time, McCready is in Buchanan. He can't come back to town. One day he sent out a picture with IV. We nurses. I knew right away he was lying because he's showing all the fake IV in his arm that he's sick. He can't go here. He can't go there. We just laugh at it. I'm like, okay, same old system. Meanwhile, he already got the 4700 though. He's sitting on our 4700. Okay, he goes to the land the next day. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Oh, I have to get a yellow machine to clear the lane and blah blah." I said, "What is that going to cost you?" He said, "1,000." I said, "Well, you got our money, just use it." Okay. He leaves that. I didn't hear from McCready again. All this time he's in Liberia, he went to my site once. The thing I'm telling you, one time. So the final day in July, I asked him, I said, "But McCready, all this time you've been in Liberia from May, you only went to the site when he said it's been raining." I said, "It's been raining for the last 90 days. He said, "Well, I can't go there." And matter of fact, that land got passed. I said, "The land is resolved. The issue is resolved." So finally, in August, my wife and I, we finally had it. All this thing here, I'm telling you, we had a chat, a WhatsApp chat going back and forth, being very transparent. I said, "You know what? We don't want to do this construction anymore. It's not that we couldn't afford it. My wife and I are both nurses. I'm not bragging. If we want to do something, we do it. We just say, you know what? Forget it. When we go to Liberia, we'll do what we want to do." Okay? Prior to that, we got another project in Fendel. I sent him a plan just to do a little reconstruction to that site. It took McCready almost 60 days just to send after he got the money already for that other land. So finally, he came on and said, "Okay, I will pay you guys your money, but there's a fee." We're like, "Where is the fee and how much?" He said, "Read the contract." We read through the contract. There's nothing there. I'm in the United States. I show the same thing work across the world. If you have a contract with someone, it's stipulated in the contract. If they change their mind, it's a percentage. Nothing was there. We even offer him to say, "Okay, how much you think we need to pay you that we wasted your time, whatever." He did nothing to my land. If my critic can show that he cut one leaf from my property, I'll let him have the remainder of the money. Nothing. Okay. So finally, he said, "Oh, I will pay your money." This is August. He said, "I will pay your money September." Never paid. I took to Facebook because, hey, that's the only, that's where I can go. I took to Facebook. A friend of ours, Sando Kane, got involved and reached out to McCready and said, "Look, man, I know Dwight, I know his wife. I call her my sister. Pay these people their money." It was a big hoopla. McCready said, because I took to Facebook, he showed me a bundle of money. And he said, "I got your money, but I'll not pay you because you took to Facebook." I said, "Fine, no problem." Sando Kana got involved. Sando, he paid a $500 and made a promise to Sando Kana when Sando goes to Liberia and on his way back after the holidays, he will bring the money. Sando came back, not a dime McCready sent. Sando opened up a chat and said, "McCready, pay these people their money. They're nice people." He never did. It was another chaos again. I took to Facebook. People got in my inbox, "Dwight, why not just get a lawyer?" I got a lawyer. The lawyer got involved. Do you know when was the last time McCready ever sent any money to me? It was last year, July. When I took to Facebook, he sent a file. He still owes $1,700. And then when I finally got in touch with my lawyer, he said he's not paying me. And I took to Facebook, and he went and ran a bunch of stories telling about I didn't pay him. So it costs you $1,700 to get to Ghana, to get to Liberia from Ghana. You didn't do any work for me. This is the thing. And you see, Sheldon, this is the thing we're talking about. Liberians come out and say we don't want to invest in Liberia. This was the first time I got involved with a recognized architect that presented, even number one, if you look on the contract, The address he has there, the address doesn't exist.
Can you just hold
And
one
then
second? Dwight, let me put this caller in queue. The caller from 8737. 8737.
Yeah, hello?
Can you just hold? I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Please hold.
All right.
All right, Dwight, let's just wrap it up because we're running out of time now.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
the address doesn't exist.
Okay.
Okay, but he said he's running a consulting firm in Liberia. Do you know the last time he paid me? 1 year ago. And every time I call him,
So
he's on recording.
the balance is
It's
1700.
1750. Yes.
Okay,
Does it cost him? Yes. Does it cost him 1750 to get to Liberia from Ghana when he was already en route?
But we
He
don't
never.
but Dwight, to be honest, we don't know. Maybe it was because of your trip he went.
We ask him to
And we're
send.
talking
We
about
ask
a
him,
whole month.
Shelton. I'm
Yeah.
not arguing with you, but
Yeah.
I'm asking him to send a
Excellent.
breakdown of
Okay.
the expenses.
Okay.
He still cannot furnish those expenses. He can't
Okay.
because he never. He said he went to my property 2 times. So how am I supposed to pay him for his time he went to my land when he didn't do anything? If he had gone and even cut one leaf on my property, I would say, okay, take the 1700. He did. He paid 3,000 of the money, and then he just made a decision and said the rest of his money is for my time and my effort. Is that how it works? And he's talking about running a professional organization, and he wants to liaise with the government. Is this the kind of behavior we're going to present to the government?
So Mr. Paul, let me ask you a quick question if
Oh,
you
yeah,
can hear me.
I mean,
What is your
I say what I had to say. He's been dodging me. He's been insulting me on
probably not
Facebook.
hearing?
He's been calling me names on Facebook. But of course, we're not in mediation here.
Yeah.
But I just want Nigerians to know what we all go through in the diaspora. When
Thank
we
you.
try to come home and do stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me take the next caller. Thanks for your clarification. Mr. McCready, please hold. Let me go to this caller who is still in queue. The caller from 401, last phone number 8737. Your name?
Yeah, hi. Flomo Livingston.
Yeah, Flumo, welcome.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys. Great show today. Great show. I mean, my only concern is about the contractors in Liberia. I mean, I don't want to generalize the whole people, the Liberian people, because I have a policy in Liberia there, and the Nigerian guy did some work on it, and he did some bad work. So I'm just saying that in all sectors, they are good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to try to, like Alphonso asked a great question, what can we do? And the guest answer said they need to have like a lesson. That way when they screw up or when they do some bad work, they can lose their lesson. That's a brilliant way to do that instead of just generalizing. I know from that
and to have insurance too, because we ain't just losing less than my money going.
Exactly, I agree. I mean, great point. They need to have insurance that way. When they're losing money too, they'll be careful how to do their work. But what I'm trying to say is both ways. There's some Nigerians, they did some work on my house, they did some bad work on it, but you can't do anything towards it. But again, it goes down to the system. But for me, the guest on there, he's a brilliant man. I think the Liberian people should use it, or the government should use it for his expertise to train other young Liberians now that like they can be able to be a good contractors, because to really have a good contractor in Liberia where they'll have integrity is kind of difficult. They'll do some bad work or something, you pay them money, they can't do the work. So because there's no consequence, so they will just continue to keep happening. And hopefully we can get a good government or that can try to put a system in place that it can be accountability to all these things. That's just all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Flumo. Thank you for calling. We appreciate your time. But listen, we've heard from both sides. Alfonso, you're the one with a legal mind. You heard Mr. McCready's position, why he used some of the money, because his time and his time in Liberia, flying from Ghana, how he had a job. And Mr.
Sheldon, can I interject something right quick?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. First of all, what Dwight said, but he paid me $4,000. That's not true. The first payment was for $2,000. Before I came here to Liberia, he paid the other $2,007, which was to cover my airfare from here and back. The hotel I stayed in was like $65 per night. Multiply it up by 30. And I did not even go to his site once. I went there more than 5 times. I hired a driver to carry me over there. I paid that man five days to went there. In addition to that, I hired a yellow machine that went there and it got stuck. I got all the photographs. I sent
let
it
me
to him.
let me take Kenneth. Kenneth?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth. You've been following the show. We turned into a small courtroom. A small courtroom. Do you know anything about the story with Dwight Port and Mr. McCready?
No.
Okay. All
So,
right.
Kenneth, can you just go ahead and talk about some of the things with the
Okay.
LIA and the
I'm
way
gonna jump in
architects are
there.
treated in Liberia?
Absolutely.
Because that's the main focus of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So
Uh,
hold Kenneth. We'll come back to you. Let me hear from Sibo Mapanya. Quickly hold. Sibo. Sibo.
Yes, this is Sibo. I just wanted to,
Yeah, make a quick
make a
point.
comment.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for this. Is a great show. I always, listen or watch your show. I think the caller, what he named Dwight, his story seems to resonate with me because I'm not trying to accuse anybody here, but I have my wife and I gave a guy some money. I think it was pretty close to $3,000 to do a cabinet in our kitchen. This guy came from the U.S. and guess what? That guy is connected with my money. I never heard from him. Every time, in fact, when I managed to get him, he was changing the number so much. When I get to him, what I ended up getting was insults. So the issue of those of us, I have one house, two houses in Liberia that I built. I'm building another two duplexes. But to really get to our fellow Liberians, to trust them, trust is an issue. Volcano. I'm not accusing anyone here, especially Mr. McCready. I don't know him, but I have had similar experience. So I just wanted to share my problem and the frustration we go through. Thank you.
Thank you, Sibo. Well, you're not the only one. Let me see if let me go back to Kenneth. Kenneth, can you hear me? I see you muted again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you,
Great,
Shadow.
great.
I can hear you,
So
Shadow.
yeah, so we've been having this connectivity problem with you, but quickly, you've been following the conversation and you know what we've been talking about. Let's talk about some of the challenges that the LIA is facing right now with regards to your relationship with the Ministry of Public Works and the government of Liberia.
Oh, actually, I don't really see like conflict like ministry and like. I would just say it's like some misunderstanding, something that is not really explained to the minister in right. So that well as a conflict. However, we have a room that we are discussing, see how best we can resolve it. But going back to the act it is for all Liberians, all like, wishing to practice from the student level.
You know,
Just as you,
Kenneth, Kenneth,
yeah, yeah,
it's so sad that I guess it's raining maybe in Liberia and the connectivity problem there is
yeah.
so pervasive that even from the internet and from your phone call, we're still having signal problem, and you're breaking in is ruining what you're trying to say. I know you got some good information to share. This is not the first and the last of this broadcast. We will be committing to a series of this kind of conversation because we know that a lot of folks here in the diaspora and even in Liberia are faced with, the conundrum of contractors and the relationship and people taking the monies and not doing the work and all of that. So we would like to bring you guys back, but I would say that we can't continue with you because the line is cutting and the most of the
They
uh,
can hear me.
yeah, the listeners are saying that they can barely hear what you're saying, and I myself struggling here in studio because it keeps breaking in and out. If you're able to try,
Uh,
let's do this. Try Messenger, go to the TI room and see if you can call on Messenger, and let's try it from that end too.
uh,
Yeah, try from the TI room because your Reddit breaking is bad. Thank you. Try from that end. Yeah, but gentlemen, let's bring back Mr. McCready. It looks like his
Yeah,
his stuff is bouncing too. Yep,
yeah.
continue.
Okay. Real quickly though, I mean, I just wanted to clarify here that I mean I understand the frustrations that people are having, but there are a few things, I think few issues. Even here, when you go to an unprofessional, unlicensed person, you're taking a risk. So that's first thing we need to get off the table with a lot of the people who are complaining that they go to contractors and the contractor absconds or doesn't do a good job. You're taking a risk, you're assuming a risk, and it's under the law when you go to somebody who's not licensed and who you don't even know their expertise. That's the first thing. The second thing with, and I hope this closes with McCready and Dwight put stuff, is that I believe there was an expectation that even if Mr. McCready had other jobs to do in Liberia, he was also going to do the Mr. Port's job. And that's why he even went on Mr. Port's property. So, yeah, so I mean, and one of the questions I want to ask Mr. Port was what was his expectation? That uh, Mr. McCready just walks away without anything, or what did he think that it 1700 was too much for the work? Like what his argument was. If you ask me personally, I would say that Mr. McCready deserved some
Some degree of
compensation.
compensation.
Yeah, so that's my issue. But what I would advise people of mainly
I
is
guess I guess I guess Dwight is calling back.
yeah, is
Dwight, is that Dwight?
That's my issue. Hello?
Is this Dwight? Hello? Hello? Continue. I don't know what's going on.
yeah, so no, that's basically what I wanted. Maybe what could have happened between the both of them is come to an agreement of what a reasonable settlement would be, rather than one side or the other saying
Yeah.
the other side should lose and the other side should lose or whatever. A reasonable settlement will have, agreeable mutual agreeable settlement will have been the solution. But the LIA working on certain standards, certificating people, making sure people have insurance. Even in America. Yeah, you call somebody to your house. If you call somebody who's not certified, you are at your own risk. You got to find certified people to do your work. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
you're right. You're right. And again, as I said, we're not here to
Yeah.
to, to mitigate the circumstance. We heard from both sides, and we think at some point both parties should have had some kind of mutual
Mhm.
agreement to as to you came all the way from Ghana. I appreciate the fact, but here, something here, and let Mr. McCready say, oh, this is what I'm charging because it was a gentleman discussion, as Mr. McCready said. The fact that Mr. Port had made an effort to go into uh, creating a WhatsApp page that creates the evidence at some point that will be utilized and admissible in court.
Mhm.
If this, then we'll know who's telling the truth. But again, we're not going to be here to settle this score. We just wanted to give both parties the opportunity to make their case. And in this case, we're going to move on. We're not having this conversation on this again. So I will come to you, Mr. McCready. Let's talk about let's talk about zoning in Liberia. What is the LIA
Okay.
talking about? Because every nook and cranny, every alley is now it's cut off. You better can you buy a property. The rule is 20
Oh,
feet away from the line. People build a fence until they get. Then they expect eminent domain when the government wants to do development. And that's what's happening right now on the Ravelsfield Highway. People literally came and built toward the highway, not respecting the number of feet that they should have stayed away from the highway. What's going on? Mr. McCurdy, are you there?
There's no, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, as far as zoning is concerned, there's no set of zoning laws or ordinance that exist in Liberia, none whatsoever. So that's the reason why public work is limited to alley work, which means they alley here, you can't build in there. When you see people building in the alley, they come in there, put a big X on your thing, and they break it down, or you stay there until you can't stay there anymore. But if there was such thing as zoning ordinance, you will not find a liquor store within 10 feet of a church or a school. You will find areas where this area here is zoned for R100, which means single family dwelling. The other area is zoned for multifamily, R100 for multifamily dwelling. The other area is zoned, you can't put more than 2-story building here. Okay, this other area is zoned for commercial. This other area is zoned for industrial. But it doesn't exist here in Liberia. You can literally do anything you want to do anywhere. The only thing you need to do is to see you, if you're building where it is visible, they come ask you for your permit. If you don't have a permit, they shut you down. Every building, every commercial building that is accessible to the public, they're supposed to have a certain amount of parking per occupant. Okay, but here they don't. They see people building 4 or 5-story building. They take up the whole lot. Nowhere for parking. People park on the street. That's why traffic is so congested all the time here in Liberia. And if people send drawings to public work, they show parking on the drawing. The public work people approve for it. When they build a thing, no parking.
Mr. McCready, you made a very interesting point. You're saying that no coding system in Liberia at all, or they're not following?
No, there's not. The only zoning laws they have here at public was something written back in 1957. That's the latest version they're using over there, and it's not as explicit as a zoning or code supposed to be for a country such as Liberia that is constantly developing. And the population growth, there's nothing made in those things that to accommodate. Monrovia was designed for 150,000 residents. Right now we got more than 1 million people. There was nothing that was done to augmentate the population growth. Bessie Street is the same width like it was in 1950. Broad Street, the same width as it was in 1962 when they first built it. From 1962 up until now, how many people have moved to Monrovia? Those streets that you had 24 alleys, back then, there were maybe 15 cars in the whole Republic of Liberia. Now you have more than 2 million. No accommodation has been made for growth. So there's none to follow. That's why people build their property fence right on the property line. When you go down, it's like you're going through a tunnel. You get your deed from Ministry of Lands and Mines to show you this is your property line. You come in there, you build a high fence on the property line. No setback, nothing is adhered to. Because normally you're supposed to have, like on the Tottenham Boulevard, you have a minimum of 75 feet 75 feet setback. Some are follow, some are not follow. People build their stores right. You can only maybe park one row of cars in front of the store. For example, city builders. You go to city builders, as popular as that place is, and as frequent the amount of customer that goes there, there's very limited parking. But you see that hell of a city building is standing up there with no allocation, very few parking spaces provided. and that can be duplicated for every huge building that's on the boulevard. LBDI, LBDI Bank, the new bank that just opened, the one that used to be on Broad Street
Yeah,
there.
yeah, IB, that's
Uh,
IB,
uh,
International Bank, IB Bank.
IB, yeah.
No parking.
No
You're right.
allocation for parking.
Nothing. The bank is on the sidewalk.
You go to the place that next door to that new car dealership that's there next to the IB Bank. The hell of a 5-story building, no parking allocation.
So, Mr. Mr. McCready,
Yeah,
let me put this to you. I heard you say earlier before these commercial buildings are erected, they submit the building plans and the Ministry of Public Works reviews and approves, right?
yeah, yes.
So if they review and approve and they say, hey, and you say as part of your plan you will have parkings, you know, and don't you think it is necessary that as this construction is ongoing, people from the Ministry of Public Works will go and so to make sure that you are doing what is spelled out in your plan? Why don't they do that?
That that question there, I really can't answer why they don't do it. The only thing I can see why they're not doing it because of staff limitation, vehicle limitation, those kind of things. But with that kind of ministry, that should not exist.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have more people. The amount of building that going on here, they're supposed to have at least 100 building inspectors. But right now they probably got about 4 or 5.
Let me just say this quick. And I say this because I'm a witness to it.
This
For
is a
instance,
joke.
for instance, our blocks in Liberia, what we call a street block,
Yeah.
is about probably less than 1 acre from one end to the next end. Or if it's 1 acre,
You have
that's
you have 4 lots in one block.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was about to say, this is my credit. I do this thing like just like you. So let's just say if it's 1 acre, that's 4 lots in there. If you take the IB bank and you build it on 2 lots and you build 5-story building, there is no space to even accommodate the building to say that you have parking space for 1 or 2 cars. Because the building itself, Moses, needs to be spread so that the number of offices, so that the height of the building can accommodate the staircase.
But-
These are all critical issues. So you come in Moses, you cannot put a building on a 2 lot that is bigger than the 2 lot.
Absolutely.
So that the point I'm trying to make. So all of these buildings, everybody want the front view in the sinkhole area. So they're buying people land or they're leasing people land and crunching things in there that really cannot fit. So as a result, people are parking halfway on the sidewalk and the major street. That's where you have traffic jam.
And then Volcano, that's where the Ministry of Public Works rules become very critical. Because they are the one that approving all this. They are the but the point I'm making, Volcano, they are the one approving, reviewing and approving all of this construction, right, Mr. McCready? So if they are the one that giving the go ahead, they should make sure that whatsoever that is being constructed, first thing they have to look at a spacing. If your house is going to have say occupy say or 2 lots, then the question that comes, where's the parking?
But Moses,
do you have a space for parking?
You're trying to be literally professionally correct. I won't call it politically correct, professionally correct.
Mm-hmm.
The issue here is that the folks in this day and age are all compromised. These people go to the offices. I'm coming. They go to the offices. This is their chopping. When the man brings his plan, they accept the plan, they approve the plan, even though all of those things will be said, but they didn't go to really inspect the space size. Because it's impossible to build a story building on 2 lots that will be 5-story.
Yeah.
But they take the bribe up front, and then they say the inspector will go there and the inspector never shows up. Or if the inspector shows up, they get him a thing, he turns the blind eye. That is what happening in Liberia.
But
Our
then when do we
president is
change this
rotting.
problem? Right, Mr. McCready?
So
When do
now,
we change this problem?
so that's what we need to
We
hear.
change the problem can only be changed from the head. If you have a minister like Gabriel Tucker and Thomas Buchanan,
He's freezing.
Yeah, he's gonna come
So,
through.
so Moses, I will bring him back once. Okay, okay, he's
Yeah.
back. Go ahead, Mr. McCready. Go ahead.
but if you have a minister there who really is too busy to make sure that her surrogates or her deputies are out there inspecting buildings, then what are they to do? And the inspector from Public Works is not going to take his own money to go inspect project. You're not going to go hire a taxi or charter a motorbike or
But do you even know if there are
just go on your own.
do you even know if there are inspectors at Ministry of Public Works? Do you even know that?
He said it. He said there are 5 inspectors.
The only thing I know of is zoning inspectors. They have zoning
Hey, we're talking about construction inspectors.
inspectors. But
Zoning is different.
as far as building inspectors, because the building inspector, they have different department. You got to have somebody there.
This is what credit we know. You gotta have plumbing inspector. You gotta have electrical inspector. You gotta have uh, 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 all the different components that make a building. People with specialization. So we understand that. It's just that you right now you're freezing because we even got correct internet. So Liberia is just man. So gentlemen, when he gets back to it, but Moses, the thing we're talking about here, you need to go and experience the situation. And when you go to Liberia, people say, "Oh, the people developing." What are they developing? They are completely contrary to what any modern city will look like. But Roville looks like a matchbox. That you just pushing the matches in, you pushing the cigarette knob in, you pushing everything in. That's how Roville look.
No system, man.
Our country is in what?
Peril.
Peril.
No system.
And we're not saying this because we want to be negative. But let me say something here quickly before we continue the conversation. Dwight wrote here, and I hate when people do this because we were very clear we're not here to mitigate, we're not here to make anything. But Dwight writes here that where's the stuff at? He says here Liberia would never improve with these kinds of behavior, and a panelist sits down without all the facts and makes a biased conclusion. How can you say that we make a biased conclusion
What's the biased conclusion we
when
made?
you give your facts, my critic gave his facts, and Mr. Yenu, who has a legal mind, said that, did you think in your own hearts of hearts that Mr. McCready, as a licensed engineer, civil engineer, will come and do your work for free? Or you admitted he went to the land, he got to the land was not in shape for him to begin the work. In the process, he got sick. You claim that the man lied. You were not sick. The not drip they were putting here.
What makes his statement factual?
Factual. So let's talk so. We didn't draw any conclusion here. I think Mr. Yenu said that he thinks that at some point both of you should have come to a mutual agreement where at least compensate Mr. McCready. You said that Mr. McCready was on his way. So yeah, what it is. And I'll give you an example of what happened to me. Moses, let me say this, and that is why I may not bring anything for anybody in America. I was on my way to the States. Somebody gave me a parcel to bring. Those parcels, they weigh. The way African things got weigh. And I brought the parcel. I called the person and I said, your parcel is ready to be sent to you. But here's your address.
Yeah.
Let me have it. When I get to the post office, I will tell you what it costs so that
to ship it.
Cash at me and then I'll send it. In estimation, she sent, I believe it was $15 or so. And when I got to the post office, it was about because I sent her back $7. It was about what?
$8?
$8. It was about $8.
Mm-hmm.
But the way she came across as if to say Oh, when she got the stuff, she said, "Oh, the postage mailing was just only $8, so please send my $7 back." The first thing that came to me was, "Do you know how much it costs to bring your stuff from Liberia on my plane ticket, bring it to my house? Do you know how much it costs for me to drive from my house to
The
go
time.
to mail your
Time.
stuff
Yeah.
in my car, burning my gas? Do you know how long it took me on the line to stand? Do you know what I went through?
The time.
For
Yeah.
$7, and you approach me as if to say I was taken away from you." But that's the kind of stuff that people do. And sometimes it bothers me that you will not even feel somehow say, okay, let me just forget it. What $7 will do for me? Nothing. But the way she came across in her text was, "Please send my $7 because the stuff was only $8." So
Yeah.
you telling me that I was trying to steal $7
You
from you?
saying that? Yeah.
So I'm
And,
giving you this example. How can people
yeah.
that have a second thought about the situation?
Hmm.
If even the man was going to Liberia on his own, let's assume, and you intercepted him to go and do your work, he gets to the land is not in shape. There's crisis, there's legal crisis, but then the land is also in the swampy area, right? And he gets to the point where he say, "Hey, you got to compensate me, and this is what it's going to be like." Then you having problem, and he said, "We're passing judgment here."
We're not.
So
That's why you
exactly.
That's why
That's
you guys should have had this mutual agreement, come to a
absolutely.
compromise. But
Yep.
now you go into Facebook and seeing that the man is a criminal, the man, nobody should do business with him. So the man take offense to that. Let's talk so, talk so.
Yeah.
If you guys go to court, bring your evidence. You have WhatsApp communications between you. You have the legal contract, and let the law take its course. We are saying here in honesty that whatever happened, we wanted to give you the opportunity to explain yourself. We heard from our critic, but we're not passing judgment. The only thing that Alfonso said here was, what is Mr. Poe thinking? That Mr. McCready was just going to do this for free? Or did Mr. Pope did not even consciously say to himself, "Well, Mr. McCready, you did as well, but the 1700 you took is not, you know,
Too much.
right?
Yeah.
But
Whatever.
yeah, what I would expect
Mm.
gave you." But when you say the man doesn't deserve anything because he didn't cut a leaf,
No.
you see. So let's
But
also
But
here.
the man didn't even go there to cut leaves. That was not his
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Even if the man was going to Liberia on his own and then you contracted him to do your job,
The
the
other
fact that
obligation to pay.
he went to your land meant he went to do your job. He
It was
went to do
not.
your job. That's why he went to your land. He wasn't walking around and just bought away your land. He went to do a job for you. But you were not ready for the job. Your land was in legal dispute. That's why he didn't do the job. That's the first thing. The second thing, he said it was too wet, it was too swampy, it probably needed to be filled and all of that. And you're right, Volcano. All of what I said was maybe the both parties should
And
have just
he's calling again. I'm not going
No,
agree,
we're not taking
yeah,
him, man. We're not
yeah,
here for
I'm
that
not
thing,
reach
taking
man.
a
you
Yeah.
blind
reasonable
because
agreement
you
and
explain
that's it.
yourself. We were
Yeah,
very clear, and we're
yeah,
just in our own intuition as what we believe in would be where both of you would come to a common ground. And I would hope to see a judge who would just say, "My credit should have done it for free,"
and
and
just walk
that's it.
away. Yeah,
And but how
And
in your legal stuff, we just wanted to balance the equation. That's what we heard from you, and we heard from my critic. We're not.
and quickly, I just wanted to say this. If I were Mr. McCready, in order to prove that head, I did not waste my time going to Liberia. I will catalog the number of days I spent in the country, the
He
number of
just he
days I
said 2 3
spent,
days.
the number of days in the hotel. I make sure I have all the receipts to show that I was in Liberia. Because even if this man was going to Liberia on a safari, and you say, hey, when you go to Liberia, go to Tumbo Village and check on my lake kitchen, it means that you have an obligation to pay for that time. It cannot be free. Oh, well, you didn't cut the trees. That's not his job. His job was to provide what? Professional service. The man is not a tree cutter. and
But,
so
was it,
and we're not trying to be judgmental here, but
but yeah, I mean,
Mr.
throughout
Dwight
the
has to
system,
understand that he was dealing with a professional man. A
man, yeah,
contract was
let's
entered into.
talk to my man.
So once the man can produce the evidence that hey, the time was used wisely, someone has to pay for that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
fair enough, man. Come on, Dwight. You just said
Yeah.
you're a professional man. You're
You're
not
nice.
America.
If I tell the man come and see me,
I put my drip on. I expect you to come for.
And the man comes to your house to put your drip on, and you're not home, or the man wait for you for five
5 minutes.
days. Then he must go back home free
Go
because
by
you didn't
free.
put the drip
You
on.
no, you gotta pay for that time, my man.
Yeah, come on.
I call you to say can't put drip on me. Then you come to the house and I say, oh my man, that's that yellow.
Yeah.
But wait for me.
Wait
Then
for me.
I come in, then 5 hours pass. 5 hours pass. You said, Dwight? I said, you said, you call me, say, Mr. Shadow?
I gotta go.
I said, 5 hours. I said, oh my man, I right around the corner. I'll be there. Then I finally get there. Then I said, but the drip not here. Oh. So I forgot about the drip, but let me go run to the CVS. Then I go to the CVS again. I take another 5 hours.
Then go come by tomorrow.
But because of your medical profession, you being nice, you waiting for me.
You say, I wait for you.
Waiting for me. Then anyway, I come by now. Then I said, my man, there was no drip to CVS. If I didn't do the work for the shower here, you gotta give me something. I would say no to you. Logically, no. I should have said even if it was a gentleman agreement.
Yeah.
You are a professional. You just come from the sour. You are a professional.
A professional person. Yeah.
I call you to come put that drip in me. You need compensation. So
Of course.
similarly, but let's lead it talk. My credit is back. My credit we want to just wrap up with you. If you want to hang it.
We are defending you, Mr. McCready.
So I had
But
a
I sent
question,
you.
Mr. McCready. Mr.
No, no.
McCready, before you come in,
I just sent you. I just forwarded you something on in the TR room. Everything that about the whole case. So
Okay.
I mean, the show is not about that case. The show is about
Absolutely.
So before you go forward, I had a question for you. You talk about the differences in the leadership at Public Works. Yeah, you talk about Woods, you talk about Nyempan, and you talk about the
current minister.
the current minister. What were the differences? And I'm asking this question so that we can figure out what are the expectations, what are the things that need to be done to really improve the system at the ministry in general.
okay. Let's start with Minister Woods. Minister Wood, I used to post about what I saw, the misfits of what's happening here in this country, as president of the Liberian Institute of Architects, and also as an engineer. So when he saw my post, he got concerned. He said, "Look, y'all go call Mr. McCready. I want to meet with him." He met with me. He sat down, and we had a very, very nice conversation. He told me, "Look, I am not an engineer, but I want you to be coming to my ministry so you can be giving us pointers as to how we can function better." A lot of people didn't like that. Because of Kofi Wood's intervention, the Gabriel Bridge is still standing today. Because during his administration, every single drainage on that bridge was blocked. The expansion joint on that bridge, it was inoperable. We went there and we cleaned that thing properly, extended the life of it. Most people don't even know this. Me and the LIA, we worked harmoniously up until the time he left. Fast forward weeks. Well, she wasn't there too much long to have a relationship with the LIA. Then what her name? Judy Moore got there. When Judy Moore got there, I was like, it's a nightmare. Because I was constantly giving him on his case and making sure that the ministry does what it is supposed to do, is take care of the infrastructure of this country. That's what the ministry mandate is. Not to go after McCready or go after LIN or go after anybody. The ministry mandate is to make sure the Liberian public can be able to travel from point A to point B safely, can go in any building and would not be feel scared, or their life would not be in danger. A handicapped person can go in any public building easily, use the bathroom, access the front door or the back door. That is the mandate of of the Ministry of Public Works. There's nothing personal in that ministry that should go on. But if you come there as a minister and you want to take everything personal, then you forget the purpose for which you are the minister.
Mr. McCready, let me do this quick. Let me just show some of the footages. I'm not going into the conversation, but I don't know if people can see this right now.
Yeah,
This
we
is
see the
going,
water. Yeah.
yeah, this is going to the land.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's me on the motorbike.
Yeah, so yeah, McCready are going there.
I
Okay,
hope Dwight is saying that.
okay, this is the land, as you guys can see. Look at the wetness of the land. This is what we
Ooh.
call dry season by, and then you don't know when rainy season come. And yeah, look at the other foundation here. You see the water, the dug the foundation. You see the water sitting. How will you lay block anything? So
Yes.
maybe that man land was way behind. But
Way behind.
here one evidence here where
Look at where the yellow machine was.
where the people knock the cornerstone down. They say they lay, you can't build on it. So crises were already there, right? They knock the cornerstone down. So let me find the other picture. Look at how swampy the place is. Look
And
at
that free publicity we're giving Dwight to now.
the puddle of water. Uh, look how the road. Look how do you commute here? Because the trunk truck said I supposed to bring the building material. Will be scared to come through the mud if they're not 4 week. You had to play where the root of the cornerstone. You had the cornerstone. You had to knock it down. They say we not y'all will not build. You see, um, you had a yellow machine here. The man said the man carry a yellow machine. What in the yellow machine here got stuck? You see the yellow machine. The metal machine set got stuck.
Man said, man, you ain't called leave for
Hey,
you. I know what the yellow machine did there.
Did Mr. McCready share these with Mr. Porter?
Oh, and
Of
Mr.
course
Porter,
he did.
he just sent it. Look at Mr. McCready almost won't take out his clothes to go swim. You see the water? You see the water?
Man, get it man to Sunny one.
Let me say the machine has stuck. How the machine will come up? So the whole the machine from there now you gotta bring another one that hopefully will not get stuck. Right?
So,
You see?
yeah, so now you tell me, Volcano, how you think that yellow machine got over there?
Or
What
maybe
was it?
he's arguing that that yellow machine was not on his spot. It was just
Okay.
a picture
Oh,
from.
do I we're lying to say a picture. You saying your own or will play it too. We'll show your own picture.
Yeah, do I?
Send a picture to
Yeah,
Dwight.
do I? We
But
are here for you and
just give us something for whatever
McCready.
country.
Including the text, including the WhatsApp messages if you want to. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God. But Moses,
Yeah.
I think that's enough for tonight. It's about
Yeah.
8:53. I gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah, quickly, I just want to make this announcement for our community, please. I want to announce to our many listeners and invite them to the state of Delaware this weekend. The Liberian Association in Delaware has a new leadership. The leadership is headed by Mr. Jackson Seaton, a Liberian journalist, former editor in chief of the Inquirer newspaper, who currently resides in the state of Delaware as well. So the inaugural program is going to be in Newcastle this weekend. We want you to come to celebrate with the Liberian community. Wherever you are, you live in New Jersey, you're in Pennsylvania, you're in Maryland, you're in Minnesota. This is the event that you don't want to miss. I'm told it is a 3-day event. The inaugural program, the keynote speaker will be Ambassador Pathans, former ambassador, Liberian ambassador to the United States. That program is going to be here in Newcastle, Delaware. On Saturday, there will be a soccer match. I think in commemoration of Liberia's independence. That's going to be in the Dover area. And then on Sunday, there will be a Thanksgiving service. So, on behalf of the leadership, I want to welcome all of you to the state of Delaware. And the
And
issue room, I want to say thank you
yeah,
for giving the people of Delaware this opportunity,
the
to share
promo.
this public information.
Thank
And
you.
if I may, real quickly, Volcano, I'm sorry, I just wanted to do the Philadelphia stuff as well because it's really important. So
Mhm.
tomorrow, Wednesday, July 26th, there will be a hosting of the Liberian flag at the Philadelphia City Hall. It's at 12 p.m. So, you see the Chinese people, you see people from different countries hosting that. This will be the first time in the history of the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania that the flag of the Republic of Liberia will be hoisted at the Philadelphia City Hall and will be at 12 noon tomorrow, Wednesday. Please come. Let's, celebrate your country. And then later on, there will be a cookout at Lindbergh Field at 4 p.m. So again, everybody's invited. Friday, July 28th at 7 p.m., there will be an Independence Day ball at the ballroom on 511 West Oakland, Glendale. And then Saturday, there will be a soccer match at Bartram. But primarily, my interest is, everybody please turn out tomorrow, Wednesday, to the hoisting of the Liberian flag. That's your pride. Come and support your country and your community.
Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your publicity. Let's go to Manisumo right now. Manisumo wrote something here tonight, and it's a good one. And we want you folks to listen in here tonight. Memory Lane by Dr. Manisumo. The title is Self Values, the Epitome of Dignity. If you do not dream, someone will dream for you. You then shall live their dream. So is the irony of Liberians. We make fun of made in Liberia products. We overlook our own Liberian doctors, architects, musicians, and professionals. The who house Pee Wee coming to spore? That the question they can ask when I because I Pee Wee bit in it. You better ask the Lebanese man from St. Joseph Construction Company to build your house, just as Charles Taylor did. Where are our Liberian values when foreigners are placed above us? But y'all remember Chief Lanko Lepe? She was the first female chief to be recognized by the True Weak Party government of Liberia. But how was she recognized? Chief Lanko Lepe, a female, was an advocate for gender equality, just like Chief Swakoko in Bong County. Lanko Lepe rose to become a prominent chief, or a paramount chief rather, despite fierce opposition by the males. So during the first visit of President Totman to Kakata, at the time Totman decided to expand his rule in the hinterland. Chief Lanko Lepe was the paramount chief from Kakata district, and she received President Topman to the city of Kakata. In her welcome remarks, she told President Totman, "It is now time that your Morovia government value our country people, and y'all must take and respect our chiefdom government. I want to tell y'all, man, them, that we women are not only housewives or house girl, but we are like y'all too." Her comments were something no one dared to speak to President Tubman in such a way, besides praising him. But no, Lanko Lepe was a blunt female leader. Thereafter, Tubman responded, "I will tell them your message, because when I talk here, they don't hear me. I will build your chiefdom offices in Monrovia too." And the native mansion was built for the chiefs. Let me bring Alphonso back. In Kakata, the Lanko Lepe High School is named for Lanko Lepe, or after Lanko Lepe. Lanko Lepe introduced the Pella slogan, "Yo Yo." Yeah, no Liberian famous slogan, "Yo Yo."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was Lanko Lepe that introduced that slogan. And she greeted Totman in Pele by saying, "Katwae," Kumeni. I'm reading Pele here now.
Yeah, I know. You're doing good.
Kumeni. So yo in Pele can be directly translated as foolish talk or accepted. Okay? According to the Pele traditional crisis settlement model, they may believe that your argument is not genuine, but for the sake of peace, they will sound the slogan, yo, and the rest of the people will say, yo, which means put this issue to rest. So, do I put my credit, yo,
Yeah, y'all meet and resolve that
Yeah,
issue.
put it in, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So, Katuae in Pele means good afternoon.
yeah.
And Kumeni means how are you doing or what is the news? Kumeni Ju, Kumeni, all right? In the local government system in Liberia, a paramount chief is the most important chief and head of other chiefs. This position of paramount chief was and still is still dominated by males in Liberia. This is written by Dr. Mani Sumo, a little historical piece here on Lango Lepe, Chief Swakoko from Bond County. But Lango Lepe, being a fierce woman, was able to meet with President Tubman and set him straight because he was one of those guys.
Yeah.
You were another powerful woman too was Glipo Titi. If you guys
Yeah, Repotiti, yeah, we heard about
bypass.
Yeah.
Repotiti, yeah.
So we also have Mother Ducle, who could stand up to presidents. And
Very powerful preacher.
yeah.
She was.
So gentlemen, that's
Yeah.
for
Finance Sumo did very well. Unfortunately, Yo is disappearing. What we're hearing now is Amanda. We
wait,
are
Way too.
all the way from South Africa. So we're not hearing Yo. We're not hearing Bati or Bati. What we're hearing now is Amanda. Where to?
Way too. Everybody paralyzed now, man.
Segwe.
Zekwe, whatever those means, nobody knows. But thank you, man. You did extremely well.
Yes.
You know.
And
Everybody said,
how was my Pele?
Oh, it was
that
great.
good.
I
That was
thought
good.
I thought you had some tutelage in Pele. You did really well.
Yeah.
But anyway, gentlemen, that was by Dr. Mani Sumo memory lane here. Good one here. We're talking about not valuing ourselves and valuing, our professional. But Moses,
Yeah.
it's time for what type of country is this?
Moses' favorite segment.
And honestly, when you think about this situation just now with our man Duat, and Duat, we're gonna have fun with it, okay? We're gonna have fun with it. What type of man in America? You want build in Liberia? He never been there. He bought the land. He didn't even know how the land
No,
looked.
no, land looking. He
He
said, money.
collect civil engineer. He collect mason on the ground. He collect civil engineer. Where in another country, the civil engineer must fly to Liberia. The civil engineer gets there. The land in dispute. When I'm in dispute, the civil engineer gotta wait. When the land finally becomes available, the land is flooded to the point where great on the land. What type of country is this?
Yeah. When the man said, "Oh, my man, for the time spent, you have to bear some on it," because he said, "No, you went there on your own."
What type of country is
What
this?
type of country is this, my people?
What type of country did the brother-in-law who's on the ground, who apparently, they didn't even apparently give them the right information.
Yeah, he misled them.
That the land is in dispute and all of that. He didn't even let the people know they pay money to Mr. McCready.
Yeah.
And then McCready gets there now,
Yeah.
and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
But then the man in America swear that McCready he deserved nothing.
Nothing.
They not even called to leave. He said called to leave.
Yeah, the man can't leave. Oh. You forgot to know that the man.
And so when you say the man didn't go to call leave, right?
The man
go
gonna
call leave that I
he forgot to know that the man is not how you
a
call
leaf
it.
cutter.
Yeah,
A
he's
leave
not.
trimmer.
Yeah, he's not a
landscaper.
trimmer.
Landscaper.
Landscaper. He's not a landscaper. The man is a professional man.
Our
Yeah.
man still trying to call. My man, If I put you on, you gotta just do whatever country because you
Is
remember
that
what
who
I'm
that
Make
Dwight?
it,
Is
Dwight,
that Dwight?
let Dwight sleep. We not
Dwight,
Right.
gonna
Dwight.
entertain
Whoever
that.
want Dwight want
Yeah,
going and
yeah.
go and make fun with us, maybe that will help the situation.
Yeah, Dwight.
but what type of country is this? That you have a certain lawmaker who is going for re-election. His brother, his biological brother, goes and throws support behind another candidate from the ruling CDC. What type of country is this? That's Yeke Koluba.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
yeah.
Representative Yeke Koluba's brother, who resides in the United States, endorsed the most talked about Commerce Inspector General, Josephine Davis, who is running in District 10. The mayor said it's time for District 10 to terminate his brother because his brother failed to deliver. Volcano, what type of country is this?
But whatever country is this, Moses?
Mm-hmm.
That the sitting president
Mm-hmm.
who finally serves 12 years, turn her back on her vice president, who should be inheriting the seat,
Yeah,
and she takes all the weight and put it behind somebody from nowhere,
opposition.
and now the man are president.
Yeah, what
Whatever
type of
country is
country is
this?
this? Yeah,
What country is this?
Whatever country is this? Because we haven't seen that, even though,
it's unusual.
yeah, it's very, even yet in American politics, if Vice President, President Biden is out of here and Kamala running, Biden will go behind her. So whatever country is this? But let me take this one here quick from Flomo Livingstone. What type of country is this? That some Liberians in the diaspora want to pay for cheap labor in Liberia.
One, a good one. I like that, Flomo. What type of country is this? Yeah. The man is a nurse. He knows the dignity of labor in the United States. He says somebody should leave Ghana and go to Liberia,
For free.
but don't get a dime.
But what type of country is this? Anisumo. When engineer becoming grass cutter.
Or leaf cutter.
He said the man can't leave. Oh.
Tree trimmer.
So the man might not get money.
Yeah. I think Dugba and Mr. McCready can reach a compromise, and they have a lawyer.
Listen, do I we want you to cheer up here. This segment now is just to crack the phone around these kinds of things. It has nothing. We're not passing no judgment here. We just looking at it.
Actually, put your phone stuff in the same way you type this.
And whatever country is doing that,
Or you have a lawyer. The part of the job of the lawyer is not just to go to court, is to do, the mediation. So let a lawyer mediate. You come to a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah, and so put your own stuff there. Whatever country is this that engineering eating nonsense money
will be a tree cutter. The man takes the engineer and send the man to Labrador, say the man will be a tree cutter.
Whatever country is this, for 6 years the government never ever gave out free food and cash.
Yeah.
3 months to the last time.
Yeah.
Whatever country is this?
Whatever country is this, desperation is killing the ruling administration.
They're giving food stamps.
Yeah.
You kept the viewer for 6 years without giving a half bag already. July 26th, you're running all over the place. You giving them food. You tell my people, you had the food.
Whatever country is this, Thomas Awaji, where JMB have Dunkin' Donuts in America? And it's national news.
It's national news.
Whatever country is this?
Yeah. I mean something that even our President Biden did. President Biden recently was at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Wait, Dwight, we're not cracking phone at this honesty. You put your own here, let me crack the phone. Whatever country is this that engineer eating nurses' money and they
Whatever country is this that the engineer charge Go ahead. Indian,
You carry you.
yeah, go
What
ahead.
the problem is this? That engineer eating nurse's money, then the nurse expect the engineer to go call leave. What type of country is this?
Let me get on dry side a little bit. What type of country is it that the engineer went to the site only once and he's taking $1,700?
But what type of country is this that Dwight cannot prove that an engineer went to the site only once?
But what type of country is this? Do I say the lawyer can find the engineer, but the engineer live on Facebook with us here tonight? And Dwight, the lawyer eating you too. Maybe you don't even
It might
understand
be
it.
eating you.
Not on
The
the
man
ground.
said, yeah.
Not on the
My
ground,
man
Dwight.
drive a man that lab, bro. You
The
know the
lawyer
people, eh?
eating you. Your own lawyer eating you. You're not on
Then
the
your brother-in-law say you need to check it up.
hey, your very lost ate you too, Dwight.
No, guys, you might not put problem in the people home. I beg you.
No, but man. I don't
Before
know
Dwight
say money to
go,
Labrador, the man go buy a swampy land for the man, my man.
So Dwight, you yourself know now how it would take whole year for the lawyer to find my credit and the lawyer can't find my credit.
Yeah.
The lawyer eating you, the lawyer eating your transportation,
well,
consultation fee,
yeah,
all of that, man. My man,
the lawyer can even go to court and the court will go arrest my
Yeah,
credit.
and my credit is a very prominent man. in Liberia.
prominent man. Come on, Dwight, you yourself too now. You said now the people eating you on all sides. Better
No
my
joke.
credit eat you. The lawyer eating you. My second eat you too. we eat airtime from you. Anthony
The
Waller
man got to spend some of that money there to issue
Don't
room
talk-
Volcano.
yeah.
The man got to say our own man. Our population will give it Duado.
What type of country is this? Even my parents say, when a man spends his hard-earned money, it becomes fun fair on the show. But people, this is where we do the what type of country. We're telling you that our country is this kind of country.
But
But
there's one point though. My credit said he gave the lawyer some
Oh,
money.
listen, my credit say, "Hey, what type of country is this? His brother-in-law sold the land from under him. He doesn't even know. that latest information.
Yeah,
what type of country is it?
Family. Yeah, stop it.
Kwangba Do was saying, he says, what type of country is this that for 6 years his president is unable to have a press conference? But man,
Yeah,
that
and
one
he
was
still won't go for another 6 years.
what type of country is this? My credit say the lawyer tell him, do I put? He can't see my credit, but my credit said the lawyer been to my job site several times. They just eating my man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's sad though. It's sad. The man
Yeah,
worked hard
man.
for his money though. It's
Wow.
sad. If that's what happened, then that's really sad.
It's a very sad situation. But what type of country is this that the Liberian government owes the people of Nima County $9 million? And the money that was given by this a mining company, what? Metal Steel or what? Metal Steel, yeah. Yeah, Metal Steel, yeah. Okay.
ArcelorMittal.
Okay,
Yeah.
ArcelorMittal,
ArcelorMittal.
ArcelorMittal gave the Liberian government $9 million. And for the people of Nima, the government misdirected that money. But out of desperation, the government went to Nima. They went to Nima last week. They took 30 motorbikes. They gave 3 buses to the community colleges over there. When you do the math, everything you added up is less than $200,000. You still owe the people, Mr. President. You still the real money, my man.
Like election is shit.
Yeah, man, desperation, my man.
What type of country is this, George Shelton, that the leader can dance booga?
Yeah, dancing booga.
What type of country, my man?
Raymond Clark, what type of country is this that 419 is at the highest peak?
Yeah.
What type of country? What type of country is this?
Hold on. Thomas Awaji right here. For all of you first-time viewers, this is our fun entertainment segment. We laugh at the good, the bad, and the ugly in Liberia. Nothing personal. Please, nothing.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, YG.
Yeah, thank you.
Do I stay here? He said, you guys don't know the full story, but you have drawn your conclusion on what I'm really saying.
Come on, man, Dwight. Come on, Dwight. Cheer up a little bit.
Why you taking the thing to see my man? The lawyer eating you, we're telling you, you won't listen to us. I mean, I go to that country every day. Every day. The lawyer eating you. The lawyer know you in America. I sure you went and told the lawyer, say, me
But
and my
my man,
are in. The lawyer said, oh, for real? All right.
to be fair, the first person that will drop the whole thing on a lap that the man brother-in-law, that land.
That
How
land.
you tell the engineer to go? The
And
man get on the ground, the
but
man go to the place, then the land is in dispute. Then your brother-in-law call you, say, oh, my man, we will resolve that issue.
but
That
I
man
want to
hate
know,
you, my man.
I first of all want to know how much do I pay for the 1 acre? God, sure the brother inflicted that price.
My man, that man hate the man, va.
Yeah.
My man, we
Yeah,
don't know
man.
how the man's brother-in-law. Maybe that man white brother. Yeah, be careful.
But man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't like very long.
The man
All right.
brother-in-law hate him, va.
Plumber Livingston, whatever country is this that a sitting government can't pay a civil servant, but the government has money to buy motorbike and vehicles for
For
elections.
I
election.
tell you, what
That's
type of
why
country is
that's,
this?
that's why this government has been hoarding monies. They've
Yes,
been printing new monies and hoarding it
yes,
because it was for this day.
Yes.
Then the same Liberian people will go stand in the line and they will poo-poo on themselves
yes,
because they won't see what in the palm kernel.
yes.
They won't see what's in the palm kernel because I mean, just to tell you that the government has shown to you they don't give a damn about you
No.
when they have held you hostage for
Yep.
5.5, almost 5 years and 3/4.
Yeah,
5 years and 3/4 because
just say hypothetically,
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
You know,
and now they're trying to give little handouts here and there to buy your vote. You better
Yeah.
eat it. You better
you
show
better
that.
eat our money there and do something.
And do something.
What
And,
type
and
of country is
yeah.
this? Thomas
Yeah.
Awaji, where the people call us for money to celebrate every holiday.
Yeah.
People
What type of
Mapayan,
country is this?
what
Yeah.
type of country is this when we cannot trust our own Liberian professional but foreigners?
What type of country is it?
whatever country.
What type of country is this that the Minister of Public Works will look at the president of the Liberian Liberian
Architects,
Liberian Institute
Institute
of
of Architects.
Architects, as
The man a
referred to the
plumber.
man as a
Man is
man
a
plumber.
mere plumber.
Man, not just a plumber, but a
A
man.
Man
mere
plumber.
plumber. Mere plumber.
And you mind maybe the man even got credential more than her because she be being
But
on
man, the minister said confused, but you have not seen that with my performance,
man.
my man.
Human performance can be so dismal.
At
when
least,
supposed to
what?
be-
My man, at least job we
Yeah.
have said better. That
But
minister
guys,
is
the
confused, my
road
man.
that broke to bombing that also a few days ago, the St. John River Bridge going to Buchanan has the problem, and now they're stopping major, large vehicles from going across because the beams broke.
Yeah, been bro, and
So it's a serious issue.
the road has become impossible.
Sooner
Buchanan.
rather than later, Buchanan might become inaccessible, just like bombing is.
Mhm.
And so now people are going to start taking boat to get to Buchanan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It will be
and
another risk factor because some of the boats that got on water may not be safe.
And they're not,
Yeah.
they're
You-
not worth it. They're
and
not,
they not even see water, my man,
Yeah.
because they are not maintained.
But not only that, they were over.
they would. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
feel
you.
it
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
boat challenge.
Boat challenge, yeah.
The
But
water.
don't go all the way to Buck Challenge. That's what happened to that boat that was going to Hopper to
Yeah.
give national exams, and it sunk and people died.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
that?
Because
because
they
my man-
overcrowded it with other things.
and
So
it was
it's
not
the
maintained.
St. John River Bridge going to Buchanan. The Minister of Public Works said the bearings holding up the pillows are busted or broke because they outlived their lifespan.
Yeah, but it has to happen. Emmanuel, thank you for joining us here, Fifth Lane. Emmanuel Fifth Lane says, what type of country is this when the courts sets drug dealers free to get shares of the monies confiscated?
Confiscated.
What type of
Wow.
country is
What
this?
type of country is this?
$100 million worth of drugs. And you say these people should walk away scot-free?
Yeah. And I
For
would
real?
say maybe Justice Ministry officials were probably involved in that as well, not just the court. Because
What type of
they didn't
country?
even turn the money over to the court. They had the money with them.
What type of country is this that people in public service, especially those in the foreign service, have not been paid for 2 months, but the government, with less than 3 months to election, bought 150 pickups for campaign purpose.
Campaign.
What type of country is this, Volcano?
What type of country is this that the Liberian embassy in the United States said there will be no program for July 26th because they
No
don't have
money.
money. There's
No
no
money.
money.
What?
So
Yep.
that means that just a little community, you
Yeah.
know.
No,
thing
but
that-
I thought there was an event in DC last weekend.
So it was at that event that they announced that there will be no official celebration because they don't have money.
And this is the same government that just bought 150 acres of Volcano. How you reconcile that?
What type of country is this where it takes 2 weeks from Monrovia to Maryland County because of that?
Because
A
of bad
viral.
road there.
What type of country is this that 176-year-old for no improvement, things are going backwards?
And let me tell you,
And let me
Go ahead.
put the last one in quick.
Yeah.
Johnson Gongano, what type of country is this when the LRA boss went to the Senate and forgot his answer sheet?
I like that.
We'll come back to that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And
That's a good
so
one.
you talk about the road 2 weeks from Monrovia to Harper, and that road is 300 or 400 miles, 300, 450 miles. That's the thing we travel from here to, Virginia.
But it's like you're driving from here to Massachusetts.
Exactly.
That's
It's
it right
300, 400 miles.
Yeah.
At most 450 miles. And
Yeah,
we
when I
spending
drive from here to
2
Minnesota,
weeks on that
Massachusetts,
road.
that's it right there.
Something you can just go in 4 5 hours, you reach and come back.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Mhm.
All right, let's go back quick. Let me come back to these guys quick. Thomas Awaji, what type of country is this where you pay the military $100 and a
Yeah.
half bag of rice?
Yeah.
But
Man.
I saw a documentary today. Liberia is the least military in the world. The least. 2,100 men can protect.
I mean, you need to send a documentary to Minister Renio.
I'm telling you, 2,100 men. We don't have nothing, no armored vehicle, no helicopter, no gunboat, no nothing,
I mean, if you ain't get bicycle, you say what?
no motorbike.
Nothing.
What type of military is this?
Yeah.
What type of
So you know what the person said?
No.
You know what the person said? From the
No.
documentary said Doe is turning in his grave.
Wow. Yeah, because the military on the door was well supported, man.
That was his strength.
Yeah, those guys were well supported.
But let's come back here quick. What type of country is this, Ibom Apaya? Where we disagree on politics, we become enemies. I see Costa and JMB,
Exactly.
uncle and nephew.
Yeah.
But let's come
Yeah.
back to this guy here quick. Johnson Gonganu. What type of country is this? The LRA boss went to the Senate and forgot his answer sheet. They
Yeah.
asked the man, how much you're not collect? Man say he know.
He said, I know. He said, Senator, I don't want to get your number that I can't defend. They said, but up to now, you don't know. You say, no, Senator, I don't.
But wasn't he sent an invitation?
Oh,
Several months. Now they ain't just waking up from his bed and say, come to the Senate. No. The
he was
notice
not
was sent
oh,
in advance, several months.
he was not just passing.
Yeah, this whole
Somewhere,
momentum,
They
yeah.
can't swing by it.
Exactly.
The man knew he was going to go meet with the people. Then he go there with 2 flying sheets. And on the 2 flying sheets, he didn't carry the answer.
No,
That's what the
man.
people wanted.
He
Yeah,
forgot
every
it.
question. Yeah, man was
Said, dog
stuffing
ate my
two papers.
homework.
Yeah. And I think Billy take 1 million. The Calano, yeah, that $50. Oh, Moses Sandy, he may pay arrangement for $15 for candle shelter. Oh, he said he will pay $20. Alphonso, that man he said making grumble you.
Hey, Megan Grandma, he saying he ain't owe the money. He said he ain't owe the money.
They said, but so when you do the collect the money, say, but when we start forcing the people now,
Is
then
it?
when,
Yeah.
when I come in when no gas in the country now, they all start blaming us again.
Yeah.
So then people that be able to bring gas. So
Yeah.
so the man who bouncing grumble that the mean man who can bring enough gas in the country. The man bouncing grumble, the man say,
He said that volcano, that Alphonso man bang grumble.
Yeah. So Chiwa would do would just go back to the man, renegotiate another deal with him. Yeah.
maybe we'll bring it down small. What type of country is this? Emmanuel is playing. when the Speaker of the House uses Ivory Coast to go to his home county and shares money in boxes.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
The next go all the way to Ivory Coast,
Yeah.
cross through Taboo or
The
somewhere.
next carry suitcases of money. Oh.
He lucky. He lucky the bandits in Africa
The man
attacking
had
the
suitcases of money, but he couldn't travel through his own country. He had to pass through Africa with the suitcases of money.
So, gentlemen, I wanted to put this out here so our viewers can listen. I was thinking on something. We're 3 months away from the elections, or 2.5 months away from the elections. So here what I was thinking, and I want our viewers to hear us here. I want to suggest here that we do a series, right? Why should President Weah be president, or why shouldn't he be president? Why should Joe Biden be president, or why shouldn't he be president?
Yeah.
Why Alexander Cummings should be president, or why shouldn't he be president? And we can go down the list of the most prominent what you call it candidates. We can't do all 20,
Yeah,
but the prominent candidates.
this would be my suggestion. From all indications, this election, the most prominent candidates, 3. Alexander Cummings, George Manuel Weah, and Joseph Boakai. All the other people, I'm not trying to put them down.
But you can. You
But
still have a tier one gonglo.
I think tier one is not is will be in at least in the third place. I'm not gonna push him out.
so then where do you put Cummings? 4th place?
It's
Well,
not a matter, but
It's not a matter of place though.
Moses,
You
you
didn't
just-
put comments in any place, so why you
Moses,
asking me to
Moses,
put-
I
You know,
hate
I was saying that we got only 3 presidents here.
No, Moses, I hate when you do this.
Oh, why?
Yeah, but we can't be 20 in the race and then you just conclusively say that we only got 3 people. What
Volcano.
we see here, Conglo name is resonating.
Mm-hmm.
Conglo is gaining momentum.
Okay, so you give me your counter proposal. What do you want us to limit this to? Because you said earlier we shouldn't go down the list. I was thinking about 3, yeah.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that we can look at least 5 of the candidates. Okay?
Okay, let's add Gonglo to the list. Then who next?
I'm coming. In the ascending order, George Weah is the incumbent.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Followed by
Boakai.
Cummings, Gonglo, right?
And who?
We can make the case because there's some credibility here. We can make the case
for
Sarah Deslow.
Yeah, okay, I give it to Deslow. Yeah, she's a newcomer. Yeah, she's highly intelligent. Yeah,
she's one of the strongest female to mesh with any of those guys in the race. So why should she be? You know, and we'll try to see if we can grab her to come make the case. Otherwise, what this conversation will be centered around, we want to give their surrogates, their supporters, the opportunity to make the case.
I totally agree.
And this is the kind of conversation
because
we should be. So why and why not?
Yes, I totally agree. And the case for Deslow is important because she happens to be the only female candidate.
No, she's not. There's another female that is from the University of Liberia.
Oh, we're talking about name.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah, the only female candidate who is at least resonating more.
Yeah.
Okay. Name recognition. Yeah.
We don't even know where Clarence Momolu is headed. We could add him there. You know?
No, let us not waste our time. I mean, it's not going nowhere. Look, somebody guy would need to put them down. They are just distractions. They are distractions, you know.
His role might not. His role might be a spoiler.
It's minimal.
So our man, Telford didn't make it. I saw the man holding a certificate. Then what happened again? Because he's not.
The man did not reach out to ask for another interview.
Hold on now, gentlemen. Is he still beating Doma?
But the Telford drop out as Toma, what did you say?
But Telford is not counted. The 20 candidates, Telford is not there.
Oh, his name is not mentioned?
Oh, I was wondering why.
But how did he get a certificate?
So that's what we're saying here. Thomas is asking because yes, he's not mentioned among the 20.
No, but man,
Oh, really?
we need to
Wow,
send
I
We
somebody
didn't
need
know
to
to
hear
that.
from Telford. We need
yeah,
to
we
hear
need
from
to send
Telford.
somebody to
Contact
NEC to investigate that
Telford.
because it
No,
is on Facebook.
Ome, I will call Telford.
Yes.
I'm not sure if he stay in Buchanan beating Dumbo or you
Let him come because that's the man who said he would say, what he will hire what 300 persons every month.
Every month, yes.
Yeah, 300. I think what?
At least
know.
300 every
No, you
month,
said
up to three.
300,000, right, Volcano?
Yeah,
You
three
said you will
up to.
hire
That's
300,000
bad.
every month.
That mean
Me,
Yeah,
I
like,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
where he was going to get that
hold on,
money from the rich
gentlemen.
people. Yeah.
Bro, before they employ by the end of the year, the whole country will be employed by the end.
And
The
the
Mercedes
least
people will
salary.
go, they will go to work for what, 5 hours, eh? You say
Yeah,
Yeah,
from
and
7
go
to
to school
12,
in the
then you go and
evening.
sleep, yeah,
and go to
and get
forget
ready.
you
And everybody, and the least pay would be $300.
know.
Let Jaffa let three, $300, 300,000.
Charging my man every month, eating a phone.
But yeah, look, Moses, we gotta enlighten the people.
Yeah.
We gotta enlighten the people. But he said he dropped out of the race because he had an issue involving his VP pick. So so I don't know what's going on, but
Hey man, what a man he can pick Moses. That would have been easy.
Emmanuel Jackson says these elections will not bring. People Mapina says that this is a great idea to bring those political folks into the discussion. Yes, and
Yeah.
indeed, that's what we should be talking about right now because our country is at a crossroad. The
Yeah.
decision making is in the hands of the Liberian people, but the people now are being used in varying ways that those who are gullible will make the wrong choice.
Yes.
Those who are not able to be perspicacious to discern what they should be doing will make the wrong choice. Those who are conscious of the kind of choices they make, some of them are fence sitting, some of them are what we call indecisive. So there's a lot going on here. People shouldn't just want to be president because they want to be. Make the case why you should be president, or let the other people say why you shouldn't be president. And I
Hmm.
think that would be the kind of conversation we can bring some discussions here, you know, uh, to have this kind of conversation, Moses. But it's about time.
Yeah, yeah, and Volcano, before we wrap it, let me just use my counseling skill to provide this
Maybe
education.
if I tell them,
Yeah,
I
yeah, very soon we're rolling.
gotta go,
I
man.
just want to provide a little education for our people. Volcano, life is about progress. It's about progression. Uh, if you want to know whether you're making progress in life or not, you just want to take a closer look at, say, you were 10 years ago and today you're 25. If before you were living in your mom's basement, when you were 10 and you're 25, you're still living in your mom's basement, then something is wrong with you. Because if all of your other siblings have moved out, they are all independent, it means something is not working out. If you went to a job 10 years ago and they hire you with an hourly rate of $10 per hour, and you work for this company for 5 years, you stay earning $10 hourly, you're not making progress. That job is not a good job. It's a dead end job because you should be getting annual pay raises. So it's a similar thing now. We come into our election. 6 years ago, if you were 20 before George Weah became president and now you are 26, you have never worked. And Mr. Weah comes and tell you, give me another 6 years. The economy is in shambles. Nothing is working. Unemployment is astronomical. Educational system in shambles. Healthcare system in shambles. Rule of law non-existent. And this same man come and tell you, say, give me 6 years. I will give you bosses. I will give you $50. We will transport you. We'll put food there for today. 6 years. Now you are 26. You give me another 6 years, you will be 32. You will start having children. What happened to the future of your children? All of you going to live in what they call generational poverty. Think about it. Think Liberia. This election is Liberia versus George Weah. You got to think about the good of your country. That's my advice.
Yeah.
But you started anything? We even have the show yet.
When you
No,
meet all the people here, you started already.
no, I just using my counseling skill here.
Okay, so
That's how you look at your progress in life.
you have more to do with your counseling skills. Gentlemen, listen, great opportunity to be together again. Thank God for His grace upon our
Thank
lives.
you.
I'm
It was a
always elated
pleasure.
to be here in the issues room with you guys,
Good.
guys with incredible, facets of comprehension of the issues happening in the country.
Yeah.
When we come here, we try to balance things. While it is true that everyone's not going to be in love with what we do, but for the most part, we're doing it with honesty and we're doing it with a degree of commitment to our country and not a particular person.
Mhm.
Call a spade a spade. We point finger when it's necessary. We joke about it. We laugh about it. But the most important thing here, we enlighten. And that is the reason for the issues room, that component of enlightenment. And so
Yeah.
we want to thank Momo Nelson for coming in, probably your first time. Come back here Friday. You will have a great time. But let's hear your one or two cents of Alfonso so I can just run the roster and we head out of here.
No, definitely. It's always a pleasure. I missed you all last Friday. I didn't get the memo that there was a wedding going on. As I saw the photographs and I was a little jealous. I actually ran from work in New York and logged on thinking I was going to see you all. That's how much I missed you guys. But as you
Oh
said,
wow.
it's always great being with you all. It's always an entertainment, but it's also real, concrete, intellectual conversation. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Alfonso, we miss you too.
Yeah. Next time when y'all going to a wedding, y'all let me know.
But man, I think in the chat room or the bathroom in the chat
The
room.
man, they didn't invite me, man.
Man, let me recognize the people who can go because I'm coming over in Utah again. Momo Livingstone, thank you. Momo Nelson, Emmanuel Jackson, Thomas Awaji, Sibo Mapaya. Great to see you guys here tonight. Hamilton Zilli, we say thank you. Raymond Clark, Elizabeth Bowen, our man Dwight Port, my man, chill, man. Yo.
Yeah,
Yo.
yeah.
Emmanuel Flynn, Faye Flynn, welcome. Thank you for joining us here. Come again. Adolfo McCritter Sr., it was good seeing you, my brother. Thank you for availing yourself. We'll come back. Hopefully, we can get the other panelists on when connectivity is in good shape. Anthony Waller Door, thank you for joining us here tonight. Lawrence Basio Sayer, we say thank you. Kwangpa Do Wesen, it was good having you in the house, my brother. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation here tonight. Forje Monyu, as usual, good to see you. Martin Sumo, thank you for the piece. It was a good one on Lanko Lepe. Tonia Brooks, thanks for coming through. Good to see you here. Mohammed Kurman, watching from Berwyn, Pennsylvania. It was good to see you, my brother. Thank you so much for coming through here with us tonight. Mackie Ward, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julian D. Thank you. Got it right. I know some of these Facebook names. We just got to struggle with them. Sia Colley, thank you for coming through here tonight. Let's quickly catch the name Edith McIntosh. It was good seeing you, ma'am, for joining us here. Great opportunity to see you. Miara Dakina, good to see you too. Welcome. Come again. S. Edward Nefor, Maria Gardell, thank you for coming in. Kenneth Yao Arwaji, hopefully you can come again. Unfortunately, we had connectivity problems. Sam Bundle, thank you. We just like to recognize a lot of you. Sensine Legion, thank you. Thank you for coming. Godwin Weado, it was good seeing you, my brother. As usual, you're one of our major contributors, and thanks for coming in here tonight to join us here. I think that's about it at this point. Semi Abu, he was in the house. Christopher Wesley, for the most part. Semrika Kate Zoga, Also, good seeing you here. Come again. Uh, Kowu, Gloria Voga Moba, thank you for joining us again. We say thank you to Ahmad Freeman for coming in here tonight, and everyone who made it here, including our man Raymond Clark Vafi Sharif and Nelepele K Sumo, who always comes from St. Louis City, Missouri. We say thank you to all of you. It was good. We'll be back here Friday. Gentlemen, good night. 9:40 in the city. Let's call it a night.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks, guys. Good night. Good night.